Hello, everybody. How we doing? You all good? I've had a pretty productive morning. Went for a hike. The only thing is I've not ate yet. Cleaned my apartment. And today, I'm going to do a live with an ex-student of mine. This is the first time I've had a student on the live. He's a great guy. It's called Andre. And we're going to discuss a range of topics from consciousness, mindfulness, escaping the matrix, and becoming an entrepreneur. We might discuss a few stories about when I taught him, all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to get him on now. He has a YouTube channel. I've put his link in the description. If you can support him, that'd be really great. He's just starting out and he does want to inspire people. So I'm going to call him right now. And I hope you're all having a wonderful day, wherever you are in the world. So here we go. Give him a call. Hey, Andre, how you doing, mate?
Pretty good.
Good lad.
Start the live stream?
Yeah, I started the live stream about a minute and a half ago, so I've introduced who you are, but I've told them we're going to discuss a range of topics, the ones that you sent me on Instagram. So this should be fun, Andre. I told you you're the first student I've had on the live stream, and I know you're a really intelligent guy and very aware and an excellent speaker. So we're just going to get started. There's a guy in the chat called Joey saying hi to both of us. So if you want to say hi, Andre, to Joey, boy from London.
Yo, what's up, Joey?
Joey Williams.
What's going on, bro?
How you doing, bro? So guys, Andre is number one, is a really nice kid. Secondly, he's incredibly intelligent and he's also very funny. And he's creating content and he's much better than I am with technology. So the thing with YouTube, it's really hard to get that first like 100 or 200 people. And then after that, the algorithm helps you out a little bit. How many subs do you have right now, Andre? Like about 10 or more?
Subscribers, like 20 probably.
20, yeah. So we'll try and get that up to at least 40 by the end of this day. We'll double it.
There's like 28 people in my class.
There's 28 people in your class. What is it? Oh, everyone who subs to you in your class? That's hilarious.
No, not everyone.
Well, I've subbed to you. So,
yeah.
What is it on your YouTube page that you discuss, or what's the topics you find interesting?
Wait a second. First, I have a question.
Okay.
Aren't you like doing a Google Meet right now that I could join to turn on my camera and everything, or just through this call? Is that how I'm going to communicate in the stream?
Yeah, everybody can hear you super clearly. So everything you say, everybody can hear through the phone because I'm putting this phone call next to my speaker. They just can't see you. They can hear everything you're saying.
Okay. That's okay. Okay, so you were asking what do I do on my channel?
Yeah, well, why did you set up a YouTube channel? What is it that you want to promote or spread, and what is it that you want to discuss today?
Okay, so my channel is basically about the whole self-improvement kind of thing, which is basically to improve your life through what I call not just I, but most people call the 4 pillars of self-improvement, which are physical health, like getting, physically healthy with a good diet, exercise, and all that.
Yep.
Mental health, which is like the biggest key to happiness in life.
Perfect.
Finances, which is, to get financially successful and financially free.
Yep.
And what I'm focusing on the most, social skills.
Okay. And when you talk about social skills, why do you think that's so important?
It's absolutely essential because, say, humans, of course, they're social creatures, right? They want to communicate with others. They want to
interact and connect.
Relationships.
Yeah, connect.
Yeah, but also having good social skills is crucial to the other category of finances because you have to make good connections, good good relationships. It just makes you like having good social skills makes you a more high status person,
Yep.
which people will be more likely to favor in many situations.
Okay, I agree. And what about being
Okay,
bilingual? So you're incredibly bilingual.
Yeah.
What? How important do you think that is in life to be bilingual, and how does it help you in life? So being bilingual, how's that helped you?
It helps a lot. Like, I don't think it's helped me a lot in my stage of life because I'm only 15 at the moment. So, like, I haven't had to use that as much other than talking to strangers that talk in different languages, right?
Yeah.
Because also, where we live, like, you'll rarely find someone that's speaking a language that's not English or Spanish.
Yeah, that's very true. Like practically everyone here where we live is bilingual, aren't they? Even like a lot of like the cleaners, even the people that work on the beach are bilingual. It's pretty much essential here.
Yeah, they're not always bilingual, but rather like fluent in one language and sort of half-assed in the other.
Yeah, I got the basics. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, okay, social skills incredibly important. That helps you with your finances. You said what mental health is the most essential aspect of being happy.
Yes.
Okay, and that connects with like the more you look after your diet, the more fitness you do, the more you do activities that you enjoy, like things that reduce stress. Like for you, what's the thing in your life that currently is really stressing you out, where you feel really stressed and it's affecting the way that you feel, which could be affecting your health? Is there anything?
I think that would have to be either how much I sleep.
How often do you sleep? Because we can discuss this in detail. Like on average, how many hours are you sleeping a day?
On average, I'd say 8 hours, but I think I'm one of those people that needs much more than that.
Well, you're changing, aren't you? Your body's changing. You're 15, yeah. So you're going through like puberty and all sorts of things. So you do need to. I remember when I was your age, I was sleeping like at least 10 hours, and now I sleep for like 3.5 hours a day. How do you feel about that? Is that really bad for me?
How do you feel about that? Do you drink like 8 cups of coffee, or what's going on?
I don't drink any coffee. I always have a ton of energy. It's just my brain doesn't switch off, and I know you're a really intelligent guy. Do you ever have that problem where your brain can't switch off, or what activities do you do that calms you down? Like when I'm reading, it calms me down, but then I'm getting stimulated at the same time by the book. So, like, what time on average are you going to bed? Like midnight? 11?
No, probably like 10.
10, and what, you get up about 6?
7.
Okay.
I'm a big sleeper. Big sleeper.
All right, so you're getting about 9 hours, and I'm getting like pretty much a third of what you're doing. And I believe for me, the more I sleep, the more tired I feel. Like if I sleep in,
the more tired you feel.
Yeah, like if I sleep in, like say if I went to bed at like 2 a.m. and woke up at 10 and slept 8 hours, which they tell us we need, but I don't agree that you need to sleep for a third of your life. A third of your life sleeping. I refuse to do that. It's a bit different with your age group. I kind of get it. But if I like sleep in, I feel like I don't have as much energy. Like I don't need much in regards to sleep. Like literally 3.5 hours. I've been doing it for close to 2 years now. And I can still do 5-hour live streams. I can still run as far as I want to run. I can still do any activity people ask me to do. So I don't know if it's a myth that we need 8 hours, or if it's just dependent on each person, like their health and their mentality.
I think it's all about genetics. It's genetics.
You think it's genetic? Well, my mum and dad love to sleep like 8 or 9 hours, I think. And I
yeah,
used
they
to, bro.
probably follow that same myth.
But my thing is, for 33 and a half years, I was sleeping 7-8 hours. And then I had this big giant awakening where my brain doesn't stop working. And now I barely sleep. And it's not through stress. I'm not stressed at all. I'm very relaxed. I'm not worried. It's just, I'm constantly just wanting to like live my life. I don't want to be asleep. I don't want to waste a third of my life just asleep. I can't do it anymore, I don't think. For me, that's my mindset.
Okay. That might be because you're like very relaxed very often. Have you ever heard of it, like that blinking is kind of like a micro nap in itself? That it gives you, it restores just a bit of energy.
Never heard of it. Explain it. I've never heard of that, mate.
Okay, I don't really know the scientific explanation, but basically, just blinking is in a form like sleep.
Okay.
So I'd assume that also being like relaxed throughout the day is also a way to restore energy.
Wow, genius, mate. So, yeah, that's a great call.
Yeah, so maybe you're kind of like asleep, but awake, you know? Like how much time a day do you spend working or relaxed?
It varies because I'm my own boss now. I'm my own boss, so I have a beautiful balance, in my opinion. I'll give you an example of like today. Today I have nothing, which is not like me at all. But the way my schedule's worked out, I have nothing. But yesterday, for example, I got up, I went for a run really early, and then I taught English in the morning with a woman, who's like got basic English skills. And then straight after that, I went to go coach a couple of kids. Like there was just 3 of them. And then I came back, I did a live stream. I met my friend, then I did a camp with kids from the school where you're at, where I used to teach. I think there was 8 of them. And then I went for sushi. Then I went for frozen yogurt. Then I came home, I spoke to the guy who's working on my website, Gabrielle. Then I did a little bit of reading. And I think I made a phone call with somebody else, went for a walk. Then I watched a little bit of YouTube. And then I went to bed. Oh, no, yesterday, actually, I went to the pool. I went to my friend's apartment to the pool. I lose track of days. So see how I have a mixture of where I'm working, but I'm hanging out by a pool and I'm going out for a nice dinner and I'm reading, I'm exercising. So when I'm coaching and teaching, I don't feel like I'm working either. So I don't feel that stress. Like people go to work and they're so stressed and anxious, then that leads to tiredness and you're giving all your energy to basically worrying about things. Whereas with me, I'm just so easy going with everything now that I'm not exerting energy, like wasted energy. All my energy is I'm very self-aware of what I give my energy to. I don't give it to things that bring me down or I don't get anything from, or I don't learn from. So most people say, oh my word, Adam, what a busy day that was. Now, what a beautiful day that was, in my opinion. I'm productive. I can't sit around on my ass. I struggle with that. Most people love that. I can't sit around and watch Netflix. I don't even have a TV. So what did you do yesterday?
Wait, Adam, I'm more surprised that you remember all of that than the actual work. But okay.
I've got a good memory. You should know that by now.
Yeah, you do. Okay, so what did I do yesterday?
Yeah.
Well, you do know that, like, me and my class, we were on a trip, right? We were on a trip.
Yeah, that looked a lot. Was that fun? I saw a lot of photos. It looked fun.
Yeah, it was fun, but there's also like a lot of waiting. It was not. You're saying that you can't really sit around on your ass.
No.
I also relate to that.
Okay.
Because for a lot of time, like there was a lot of waiting involved.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I feel it right now, and I'm enjoying like being productive, being on your stream, and doing like my important self-improvement habits in the morning more than I am that trip.
Well, that's amazing, mate. Like at 15, when I was 15, I wasn't thinking about self-improvement habits. I just thought about football, started to like girls. I was always good at school, but I wasn't thinking about self-improvement. I wasn't thinking about psychology and all that and my sleeping patterns. I didn't really think about anything at 15 other than just the very basics. So it's amazing that you are like, somebody said it in the chat. One of my really good friends from Australia, Oz, he said, well-developed mind for a 15-year-old, the future is bright. And I'll read a few other things. Joey said 8 hours sleep is mainstream media. It creates anxiety. Your brain will sleep when it needs to sleep. And my whole pattern is, or my way of life is, I sleep when I'm tired. I eat when I'm hungry. I drink when I'm thirsty. Like I listen to my soul, my spirit, my brain. I don't do what I'm supposed to do. Like I don't go, right. There's people that I know, they go, I'm going to have my lunch. You know, as a teacher, you have your recess and your lunch. You have to eat at that time, don't you?
Yeah.
Like what times like the lunch time at the school that you're at? Is it 11, 12?
What time?
Yeah, they changed it since I left.
Well, wait a second. Let me remember.
I think it's 11.
It's about 10 a.m. actually. It's 10.
10's your main, when you have your lunch, 10?
Yeah, it's not like, it's basically breakfast, but people probably already eat breakfast like before going to school, so it's not really breakfast.
But what I'm getting at school is you have a set time where you have maybe 30 minutes or an hour or 40 minutes to eat. And it's like, I'm not hungry. And then you're not allowed to eat in the classroom. Well, I guess I'm always hungry. But my point is you're kind of under a structure which is very, very military, where you're like...
Yeah, I'll tell you why they do that. I'll tell you why schools have you eat at a specific time. It's just to get you used to like the system in the future.
Go on then.
Because at work, you also have that same time at lunch. For school, you're usually going to go there 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And 6 to 8 hours at school, right?
Yeah, it's usually 8 hours. Usually 8 hours, yeah.
Yeah, so the school system basically exists to get you like complacent and submissive towards the system of the 9 to 5 work week.
Okay, yeah. Do you know who the Rockefellers are?
Yeah, I think you've told me.
Yeah, basically the Rockefellers started funding
the education system.
Yeah, they started funding the public education system in 1903, and they don't want critical thinkers at all. They want you to, and again, the school we're talking about is an amazing school, great teachers, like very intelligent students and all of that. But in general, the education system, they want you to just memorize information and then recite that information and not really think for yourself. Like, I don't know if you remembered, but I basically, I would make you write opinion essays a lot because I wanted your opinion. And I know we had to use those books, My Perspectives and all of that, which was very often read this text, complete the comprehension check, etc. The same stuff, write a summary. But then I was like, nah, I want them to actually give their own thoughts here, write an opinion-based essay. So you're not just reciting what they're telling you to recite. That was one of the reasons why I left when I realized that with the books.
You know what's the weirdest part of that My Perspectives book?
Go on.
There's a comprehension check where basically there's like questions to check your comprehension of the text that have an objective correct answer.
Yeah.
That makes zero sense. Like
that doesn't make any sense.
Correct answer. Yeah, then why is it a comprehension check? It's not about your comprehension in that case.
Yeah, it is very military. You've got the bells going on. You got to ask to go to the restroom. Like, you can't really question the teacher, can you? Unless the teacher's really open, like I was. You can't. I remember, like, when I was a student, I questioned a lot of teachers, and I got kicked out of the class for questioning them. I would say, like, why are we learning this? What's the purpose of this? How am I going to gain from this? And Adam, just do it. I'm like, but why? Like, what's the purpose of it? Adam, that's enough of your back chat. Get out. I'm like, what? Yeah, like, get out. I'm like, okay. And I wasn't being disrespectful. I was just always curious as to what I was learning and like, what am I getting out of it? And there's a lot of stuff at school for me where I'm like, what is the point of this? Without like being like a bad student, I was a good student. Just, I want to really get into the activity where I'm like, oh, okay, this is exciting. And school should be exciting, shouldn't it? School and education and learning should be exciting. So when I teach people about gematria and symbolism and all this stuff that I've learned, people are like engaged. They love it. They want more. Like, give me more, give me more. But when you're at school, it's like, it feels like forced, doesn't it? Like, you're just there to be there. Like, you're not, like, at the end of the day, on the average day at school, like, how many new things do you learn? Like, how many things do you go away with where you're like, wow, okay, that was well worth it? Do you have many days like that? Is it every day or?
I don't know. That doesn't happen very often. Well, it depends on the class, because I think that there is many teachers like you that would teach us very well. But say in a more practical, like objective class, like math or any science,
Yeah,
you're gonna learn much more like actual things from that. But from like a more abstract kind of thing, like say what other classes, like ethics or something.
yeah.
You're not gonna learn much there. Like, you're not gonna go back home thinking like, wow, today I learned this.
So let me ask you this. I think I've done this with you before.
Yeah.
If you could create a school schedule, what would the time be? Like, how many hours from what time, from this time to this time? What core subjects would there be? And would there be any subjects that you would add that are not currently in the curriculum? Like, so what is it now? That are you doing? Is it 7:30 till 2:30? Is that what it is?
Wait, I think, yeah, I remember you giving me that activity. I actually checked my old notebooks like 2 weeks ago, and I
Nice.
remember seeing that.
Okay.
But yeah, what we're currently doing is, like, we've got to get to school at 7:40, and the actual classes start at 8 and end at 2.
All right. So you got 8 till 2. So it's 6 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours.
And out of that 6 hours, what do you have like in regards to recess? Is it an hour? It's like 30 minutes?
It's 2 periods of 30 minutes.
All right. So
in total,
you're in a classroom for 5 hours.
Yes.
Okay. For you, what schedule would you, obviously don't say like, I just wouldn't want to go to school for 20 minutes. Ha ha ha. Like, what do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think that is sufficient? I think 6 hours is pretty fair. Or would you do less? Or would you do more?
Honestly, I think what matters most isn't like the time that you're there, but the concentration of the stuff. Because say usually in some classes I'll finish my work at like literally an hour before the class ends, and then I have just 1 hour of having to sit in the classroom doing absolutely nothing.
Yep.
So I think I'd rather have school for 3 hours, like no breaks, nothing, of absolute concentrated learning and work.
Yeah, because it's not how long you do something, is it? It's the energy that you exert within it. It's not how long you do it for. It's like how productive you are with that time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've sat through 3 or 4 hour meetings, and I've literally thought we could have done that in 15 minutes, and it's just taken us 4 hours. Why? And that's what I started doing, calling out directors, this, that, and the other. Like, we could have done this in 10 minutes. Like, why are we taking so long talking about this? And I completely agree with you there that it's not how many hours, it's what you do with that time. Like, I'd rather it be intense over like 4 hours and it be intense and you're pretty much always on the go getting stuff done than having a break here and a break there. It's very hard, isn't it? Like, how do you feel like after your break and then going back into the classroom? Like, you almost switch off. It's like like when I'm playing sports and like I don't know if there's a timeout or something like that, or like you're like, oh, you lose your energy that you've built, the momentum. So how do you feel after like a 30-minute break? Like, are you ready to get back in the classroom? You're like, oh God, does it make you realize how much you don't want to be in the classroom? Do you think you need the breaks?
You know, Adam, I can tell you that this like energy that you're talking about right now,
Yeah.
that in the self-improvement community and like even like entrepreneurship, we call that a flow state.
Okay.
Where basically it's like when you're, as athletes say, that you're like in the zone. There's basically zero thoughts in your mind. You're like completely concentrated
You're in the
on
present.
the task
You're
at hand.
in the present, which is the most important state of mind, to be in the present.
Yeah, you're conscious.
Yeah, that's the word.
That's called the flow state.
Okay, that's why they say go with the flow.
I don't think that's why they say that word, but yeah, I guess.
Okay.
So yeah, whenever there's like a break or something, what I dislike isn't actually like getting back into class, but the break itself, because I'm one of those people that if I'm not doing something like either completely practical and like action,
yeah,
or enjoying myself, I'm always like cripplingly, horribly bored.
So what do you do then? What do you do on your break time?
I'll either like eat, because eating, I guess it stimulates my mind.
Yeah.
Or go and play volleyball.
Okay. And are you still playing basketball, or have you stopped?
I stopped like years ago.
Okay, you stopped. Did you just play because it's one of them where it's like you've got to sign up to an after-school club? I'll pick this one because it's probably the best one out of all of them. Is that why you did it, basketball? Or did you just get bored of it?
Well, my dad wanted me to play it because he's really into basketball.
Yeah.
But also, like for all the after-school clubs that there was, that was probably the one that I would have liked the most, because I'm really not into soccer. I know you are, but it's not my thing. And then there was like taekwondo and stuff that it's kind of boring.
I think with me with soccer, that was a huge factor in why I could connect with so many people, with kids, because they knew that I could play at a high level. I'd play with them. I could discuss it with them. That's really helped me as a teacher, because there's not really anyone else who can play, is there? Maybe Pedro and Irving, and then other than that, people don't really play at teachers. But my good mate, I've mentioned him already, a great guy, Oz from Australia, amazing guy. He's in India right now, coaching. I hope he does amazing. And he said, well, he's asking me, maybe I'll answer it as well, and then you can. Well, you answer it first. This is about you. What do you think are the 5 primary subjects people should learn at school to enhance our future?
The primary subjects to enhance our future.
Yeah, 5.
Okay, so first of all, right now, like the most important subjects that, well, not the most important, but like the most taught subjects are, your traditional math, English, science, history, and like another language.
Yeah.
So, but I think the ones that are the most important, that we should be focusing on the most.
Yeah.
Wait a second, but like what age gap are you talking about?
Well, let's say your age group, like who's basically a teenager, who are going to be adults soon, who are going to be working in the next 5 to 7 years or less.
Okay, in that case, I keep math. Math is very important.
Yeah, for sure.
Finances.
Would you incorporate finances within the math, or would you have it as a separate subject?
It's separate.
It's separate, even though finance is pretty much numbers.
No, because in that, sorry, I don't mean finances. I'd rather say like money management, business management, entrepreneurship, like marketing, all of that.
Yeah. So when I was at school, that was a subject we had, which was great. It was called business studies. So it was all about all
Yeah.
of that, which was great. But I didn't learn that until something called sixth form, which is like the equivalent of 13th grade, where we studied business studies. It was part of what I was learning. And that was huge. Like I learned so much that year through that subject, business studies. Yeah, I agree with that. So, okay, math, business studies, pretty much, which incorporates finances and money management and all that good stuff. And what else? Anything else? I think physical education is huge for me.
Yeah, physical education.
And there should be more.
Like,
every day they should be doing PE. Every day for me. You should be doing it, not once a week. I can't believe my school, we did it once a week. It should be every day, physical education, out of a classroom, working out, whatever it is. So that for me is definitely in the top 5. That's 3.
And also like nutrition and knowing your own body and what you should be doing. Sleep also, as you were talking about.
So basically, psychology would be huge, I think. Psychology, if you had somebody who specialized in psychology.
Yeah, not just psychology, but also like some sort of social studies, because we have to understand how like the social hierarchy in the world works, because it's absolutely essential in any sort of business or any sort of department of life that you're working on.
I agree.
But yeah, also psychology and like mental health, that is something that should be taught more.
Yeah, I would call it psychology over mental health, though. I don't really like that term, mental health. I prefer the term psychology for me, like human psychology, the power, but teach people the positive elements of it, like the power of the mind and overcoming fear and affirmation and all of that. Not focus on depression, focus on the positive elements of your mind and how you can use your mind, rather than focus on the negative element of your mental health. Your mental health can be positive.
So like the science of well-being, basically.
Perhaps, again, I'm not a big fan of the word science, but I know what you're saying, because like they are chemicals. There's definitely a scientific element to it all, but just focusing on like living in the present and taking chances and figuring out the things in your life that you love, doing them as often as you can. The things that are not bringing you joy, try and avoid them if you can. Reduce like the amount of time you're playing video games, and like, I would make you write essays, one I like the risks of video games or technology, or the positives and negatives of technology. So just finding a balance in your life would be huge, but we don't really have classes like that. You've got what? Your math, English, science, history, geography, information technology, I guess, is crucial at this point. That has to be essential, I think, within school now, the way the world is going, the way that it's intentionally being designed for us to rely on technology.
We don't even get geography class anymore. We don't have a geography class.
I don't think it's that essential, geography, to be honest. Geo does mean world, but
it's not essential at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's that important, geography. I think there's definitely subjects that are way more impactful and interesting than geography. I'm going to read a few comments. Let me see what a few people are saying. Clow, amazing girl from Ireland. She said, being intentional with your energy and time is really important. Being intentional with it.
Yeah.
You agree with that? Okay. Somebody said, honestly, go on.
Yeah.
No, you go. You were going to say something.
I have another comment.
Yeah.
The list we just made is like the most important things that we should be teaching to everyone.
I would say so.
It's not necessarily like the 5 classes that people need for absolute success, because if we were teaching, say, like entrepreneurship and essential skills to like reach the top of the world's hierarchy, we couldn't just teach that to everyone, because there has to be poor people for rich people to exist. There has to be people at the bottom for the people at the top to exist. It's just essential.
It's essential, like the polarity of it all. Like you need to have.
Yeah, so you can't. We can't just get like the 5 most important subjects and teach them to everyone.
So
Well, I
do
guess
you
there's
think
still be people that
students,
just wouldn't apply it to their life.
do you think students at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
especially in high school, there should be like a list of maybe 15 subjects and you can pick 6, that you get that choice? Or do you think that would be too difficult for the school and the teachers and all of that to plan? Like, for example, if only a few kids choose to do history, then that teacher only has a few students. That's why they like to have it where each class has a certain amount of students. All of you learn the same thing. You all do these. I want to ask you about this actually. Standardized exams where every student takes the same exam. What's your thought on that?
Standardized exams where every student takes the same exam.
Yeah, like if you had an English
Well-
exam, everyone in your class took the same exam. What do you think about that?
Well, I guess that's how it works now, right? And
Pretty much.
are you saying that there's, are you saying that like different levels of like English intelligence, for example, should have different exams?
Yeah, at my school in England, you got put in different groups. So you're like higher level or lower level, and the exams were different. But where we are here, pretty much every student within that class. So you were super high level. There was other people who could barely speak English. They were taking the same exam as you. But you go, well, it is what it is. We all learnt the same content. Like, deal with it. That's life, pretty much. Or do you think?
You know what? Maybe different grade levels should be separated, like not by age, but by level. So say that somebody has like, I don't know, level, like say that somebody's in 8th grade, right?
Yeah.
But they've got like a 4th grade level of English, then they should be in that level class. Like, of course, that would be a huge like damage and hit to their social situation.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they'd be in a class with 4th graders and stuff, or like people that are younger or whatever. But like if we're talking solely about education and optimizing their learning, it would probably be a good idea.
All right, good call, good call. Somebody said this, you know, we were talking about food and drink. Neil said it's fairly hard for a teacher to manage a class if they are distracted by people eating and drinking. What do you think about that?
You know, what do you think about that? Because you're the teacher here. I've seen people eat in class, but I've never seen like the teacher be distracted by it or annoyed. Just
for me,
put it away.
Yeah, for me as a teacher, it was all about getting the students to respect me and basically not look up to me and do everything I say. Like, I want it to be questioned and stuff, but for me, it's like, if you do your work, I don't care. That's kind of who I am. But it got me in trouble a few times. So if I give you a task and maybe you want to eat during it, you want to drink, you might want to check your phone, this, that, and the other. You might want to say, hey, Mr. Adam, can me, Diego, and Manuel just take a 10-minute break just to have a chat, like, and then we'll get back to the work. I like that element of a classroom setting. So if you do your work, I'm good with what you do. As long as you're not going out of your way to intentionally harm somebody or distract somebody or offend somebody, I would not care if you were eating or drinking. I know myself, like when I'm hungry, I can't function properly. So sometimes I'll just need an apple or a protein bar or something, and then I'm back in the game. I can't concentrate when I'm hungry. So for me, I would have no issue at all with students eating in my class or drinking in my class. But it's the school, it's the rules that schools make when a lot of them, they're not practical. It's just rules because they're traditional. Or one person complains, one parent complains, and then boom, we can't do that anymore. And I don't like that element of it. It kind of wasting your energy on tiny things that are not really a problem. So what else?
Okay, so Adam, your system is basically like casual learning, casual work.
Yeah,
And I think
get it done.
that's great. Like that's how it should be. But you've got to remember that our school, the school we're talking about, is much different from other schools because from other class dynamics. I mean,
I agree.
because
Yeah.
we spend most of our time in class just doing our tasks.
Yeah.
But other schools, like they have straight up like lecture classes, like 2 hours of paying attention and taking notes.
Yeah.
And a teacher's gonna have a very hard time like concentrating and being secure with themselves and like how they're talking and what they're saying when other people in the class are like distracted, eating or even talking too. Like
No, that's
I
true.
hate it when say I'm talking to someone and they bring out their phone or they start doing something else. It's the worst.
What about this then? This I often get asked this. What about students who can listen to music with the headphones as they're working? I have no issue with that, and I got told that kids couldn't do it. You listen to music, it helps you concentrate, it helps you be creative, you're doing your work. Is there an issue with that? I don't think so. What do you reckon?
You know, I don't really know about that because I've never been the type that like I listen to music and it helps me concentrate. I'd rather do one thing at a time but do it super intensely. But I think that it's not that it helps most people concentrate. This is going to sound kind of controversial, but I think that people are just kind of addicted to hyperstimulation.
That's true. That's all by design, absolutely. And instant gratification. People want things instantly. They don't want to put in the work. That's a factor. The instant gratification comes through social media, just getting your instant likes, your WhatsApp, all of that. I didn't grow up with that. And how would you say the average student is with their concentration levels? Have you seen over the last few years that they've decreased? Have they increased? Has there been no real change?
Concentration levels in what aspect? Like a social situation?
A social situation within the classroom setting. Maybe if you've gone to a party, like, can people hold a conversation now, or are they just constantly like moving on to their next thing? They need to be stimulated.
I think people often find like the need to be stimulated, but people can hold like really good conversations for a couple of minutes maximum. Like most people my age won't end up holding like long conversations with one person very much at all.
Yeah, I agree. That's why people can't believe I can talk for 5 hours at a time. But again, do you watch TV?
No, I've never had like cable TV at my house.
That's amazing. Well, no wonder you speak the way you speak then at 15. Can we go into it a tiny bit about the setup that your dad has with what he does, or do you don't want to discuss that? So I think it's amazing what he does. You don't have to.
Okay, yeah, sure, but like, are we gonna keep the location private and all that?
100%. Don't discuss anything about your location, name. Just basically, I always talk about how every day you should look to help people and inspire people and bring joy to other people, and then that will bring you joy at the same time. And I always go out of my way to try and help people. Again, that's why I became a teacher and a coach and do all of that. So briefly discuss it just for a few minutes to show basically how amazing he is and your whole family, to be honest.
Okay, so basically my dad, he's the executive director of, what do you call it? Of, not an orphanage, but what he said that it's called boys' home. Like,
So if there's kids who come from like challenging backgrounds, or maybe they've been disowned by their parents, or maybe their parents died, or maybe they were getting abused or whatever, and they don't want to live there anymore, basically.
Yeah, he'll take them into care, and it's basically just an orphanage, but also for parents that say were drug addicts or abandoned their children. or which is usually because either their financial situation wasn't good enough, or I don't know, the kid was mentally challenged. There's a lot of like kids there with mental disabilities or autism and stuff, because I honestly don't know.
So, like at the moment, right now, how many people has he taken in? Do you know? You probably don't know, but is it more than 10? Is it in your 20s? Is it 50s? I have no idea.
40 to 50 probably. It used to be just boys, but now it's boys and girls.
Were you there when I came and visited and coached a little bit and played with the kids from the orphanage? Were you there when I played with your dad?
Oh, you've done that. You've done that many times, right?
Yeah.
Playing soccer with them.
Yeah. Were you not there? You were never there,
no,
were you? You don't really, because you don't really care for soccer at all, which is all good.
No, I really don't.
So for you then, so you're 15 now. What grade are you going into next year? 11th grade, is it?
No, 10th grade.
10th grade. I lose track. So
for Mexico, that's basically like the first year of high school.
Okay, yeah. And then you got 3 years left.
Parts of the world is different.
Yeah, you're gonna have 3 years left when you go back. So at this point in your life, at 15, all I wanted to be was a football. I didn't even consider anything else. Do you have an idea? Are you a kid who's at 15 and it's like, well, I want to graduate high school and then I want to go to this university and then I want to make sure I have this? Do you want to be self-employed? Do you want to work for a giant corporation? Do you want to be just a content creator and work online? Or you're a guy who just goes a day at a time? It's like, I'll see where the world takes me. Like, do you have a plan in your head of where you want to be?
There's one thing I absolutely know, which is that I'm not going to work like a 9-to-5 job. I'm not going to work 8 hours a day and take a 2-hour commute. I just want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be financially free. I be my own boss.
Good for you. You're giving me goosebumps there. Good for you.
Difficult thing to say.
Yeah, and people hate on you for that. Like, who do you think you are working for yourself and being financially independent and not having to work to an exact schedule? People get angry that they have a go at me. Who do you think you are, Adam? Like, what are you talking about? Who do I think I am? Like, I've worked my ass off. I went through university. I built up relationships to have enough belief to have my own coaching company, to teach English online, to leave this school behind. All the stuff that I've done, it's like they get angry with me, mate. Like, or with you saying what you're saying there, which was amazing, you'll get so many people that are going to say to you, keep dreaming, Andre. Keep dreaming, mate. Not a chance you'll be able to do that. Keep dreaming. You get that all the time. It's like people don't want you to be successful and free, which is beautiful.
Yeah, I don't think that most of the time people are saying that it's unlikely because they don't want you to be successful, but rather they're just not informed. Like they can't imagine a life outside of what they've already been shown of, the pre-programmed life of going to college, getting a degree, getting a job for 8 hours, getting married, having kids, getting a house, getting divorced, all of that. Then dying old.
The trap, just the trap of graduating and then going to university, graduating from there, and then you probably get your first girlfriend. She might become your wife. You buy a house, you buy a car, you get a mortgage, like death, which you get for about 20 or 30 years. And then you work your ass off. Most people doing jobs they don't like to then retire and then die. And that is that's the American dream, it seems, to do that, like to live that lifestyle. That means you've been successful. And it's very hard to define the word success. I always say that. What is successful? What is good? What is bad? What is funny?
I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you.
You go.
So basically, success in life, I've seen this being said by different people, is to become a holistically healthy person, which is to be achieve fulfillment in the 4 pillars that I mentioned earlier, physical, mental health.
It's funny you say 4 pillars.
And social health.
It's funny you say 4 pillars. Do you know the Georgia Guidestones? the Georgia Guidestones that just basically got taken down on
No.
the
I don't know.
6th of July. Basically, that has 4 pillars. And I was just discussing how that came down. And you need to look into the Georgia Guidestones, mate. It's talking about how they want no more than 500 million people living on Earth. And they came down that they were erected in 1980, 42 years ago. And there's these like 10 principles. And one of them was to ensure the world has like less than 500 million people living here. So you should check that out. You're talking about 4 pillars, and it made me think that because the Georgia Guidestones had 4 pillars with those principles in 8 different languages. So it's funny you said 4 pillars. Something with 4. Can you give me an idea of what this 4 is? Like the presidential elections are every 4 years, the World Cup's every 4 years, the Olympics is every 4 years. Do you think there's something with that number 4? Like
not just 4, but also 40. Like in the Bible, 40 is a very commonly used term, like 40 days in the desert.
40, yeah.
40
Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, 40 is a really big number, which is basically 4 in numerology, because your 4 plus 0 is 4. So I'm trying to figure out what that 4 is. Like you've got like north, east, southwest. You got your 4 there. And there's so many things with these 4, the 4 horsemen in the book of Revelation, the 4 gospels, Klaus saying, I want the 4 seasons, the 4 suits in a deck of cards. There's so much with 4, and I want to know what it is, because I was born, according to the Gregorian calendar, in April, which is the 4th month, although I believe it's the 1st month, because we should have a 13-month calendar, because 52 divided by 4 is 13, not 12. Guys, think of some more 4s. Think of some more 4s, guys, in the chat. This is where it's great, but people pull this out of the bag. The people in the chat, Andre, are really...
You're saying that since you were born in April, which is the 4th month...
Yeah, well, according to the Gregorian calendar.
Do you believe in fate? Like, that you were born on this certain month for a reason and all that?
What? Do you know I was born on my dad's birthday?
You were born on your dad's birthday, really?
I was born on my dad's birthday, and my dad was 31 years old, and 31 is the 11th prime number, and number 11 is my favorite number since I was a child. So that makes me think like I was meant to be born that day on my dad's 31st birthday. So there is an element. Go on.
I was born the day after my dad's birthday. He's February 28th. I'm March 1st.
Wow. What, you're March the 1st?
Yeah, I'm March 1st, and my dad's February 28th.
Whoa, so you're born 3-1.
Yes, 3-1.
And I just said I was born on my dad's 31st birthday, like 3-1. That's crazy.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and you're born 3-1. All this stuff happens to me all the time. Yeah, 3-1. So that's wild in itself. Let me just check something. So 3-1. I'm gonna just check the amount of days between our birthdays this year. See if I see anything. Okay. Oh my goodness, mate. I always talk about 113 all the time. 113 all the time. You know, coronavirus, it was declared a global pandemic on the 11th of March, which is 113. The US presidential election was November the 3rd, 113. I talk about this number all the time. And my birthday is 1 month and 13 days after yours, 113. This is hilarious.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, I just checked it now. I know, it's just funny. Like 113. It's the number of deception in gematria. So Gigi saying this, that the number 4 in Chinese is like connected to death. They don't like that number. Did you know that? In China, they're really against the number 4. Like certain.
Yeah, it's like an unlucky number. It's like the 13 to the Americans.
Yeah, exactly. And somebody in the chat's birthday is 11/3. Much love, Gigi. Wow, that's wild stuff. Geez, what's February the 29th, Joey? Because 229 is the 50th prime. Chris Holding's currently 31. Nice one, bro. I'm 36. 666 is the 36 triangular number. So, bro, you're gonna laugh so hard at this, Andre. I'm currently reading the book of Enoch. And can you tell people your middle name? It's fine.
Oh my god. What? My middle name is Enoch.
Guys, Andre's middle name is Enoch. And we won't say his last name. His middle name's Enoch. And I'm reading it right now. And the book of Revelation. So, is your family religious, Andre? Like, do you believe in God? Are you atheists? You believe in God?
Well, my parents are both Christians. I'm still figuring all this out. Like, I'm not sure what I believe in yet. You've said before is that you believe that God is consciousness, and I think that there might be some truth in that.
I'm kind of like, I've gone on this wild journey, mate. I had this like big awakening like a few weeks ago with God. I think consciousness gets you closer to God. I don't think God is consciousness. I've changed. So I think the more conscious you become, the more aware you become, that's when you can like get closer to God and figure out why we're here and the purpose of being here. But as of now, and I don't think it's ever going to change, I think God's like the ultimate creator, and we're here and we've just got to basically enjoy the show, enjoy the ride, help people grow every single day and overcome these challenges. Like I always talk about Satan. I won't get into Satan with you, but I always say like God's the creator, Satan's a creation. So there's a lot of people in this world, even humans, they're trying to create this, that, and the other, but the ultimate creator is God. But I'm not religious in the context of going to church and all that stuff. But I pray and I believe that there is a God, that there is one, and all of that stuff. And for you, like at 15, I didn't believe that, mate. I didn't believe in God till about maybe 6 months ago. So it's a process.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't really believe in God. I didn't really have like, was I an atheist? I guess if we're going to use that term, I live for the moment. I've kind of always lived for the moment, to be honest. So I didn't worry about where I was going to go when I died. I was like, I'm more focused on being alive now. I don't want to question what happens when I die. I didn't think about heaven or hell or God and Satan and angels and demons. And I didn't really understand it all. I didn't study it the way I'm studying it now. And I think it's amazing. Like I read the book of Revelation, the Bible now. I'm reading the book of Enoch and all this stuff. And it's like, wow, it's so profound to me. Because you love reading, don't you? Like you love to read.
Yeah.
And what is it about reading that you enjoy?
I guess to me, like reading, well, I used to read it for a different reason, actually. Like I used to read out of pure enjoyment. I would just read whatever novel or fiction book I wanted to read.
Yeah.
But now I read more like on information that I can practically apply like into my life on self-improvement.
What's the last thing you read where you thought, I'm going to take that and it's going to make me better? What's the last thing you read?
How to Win Friends and Influence People.
All right, that's great. And was that a book or just like a document?
No, it's a book. It's a book.
Okay, and did you learn a lot from it?
I learned a lot would be an understatement.
Really? So you'd recommend that book heavily?
Yeah, I made a whole review on it on my channel. If
okay, perfect. To check that out. Yeah, guys, check his. So, what's the name of the book again?
How to Win Friends and Influence People.
How to Win Friends and Influence People. Andre on his YouTube channel has done a video about it, and it's very important, isn't it, to have, like you said, friends and relationships and connection with people. It's essential. But you don't need, do you agree that you don't need to have lots of friends? You just need a couple of really close ones? Or do you think the more friends you have, the more fulfilled you are?
I agree that you don't need lots. You just need like a good amount. But also having lots and like a wide social circle will help you get more confident, and that validation will just increase your confidence. But the thing is, I've always struggled with social skills. Like I believe that I have a certain level of autism, so like, that's a big problem for me.
So wait, have you got
I'm working on
so-called
that.
tested where they test you for? I'm not even sure how it goes, how they go about testing you for autism, and what did they say?
When I was little, when I was like 9, I got tested for Asperger's, which is kind of like autism.
Pretty much.
And they said that I didn't have Asperger's at all, that I was completely healthy. But it's bullshit. Like, the whole test was just, basically, you know those little things, those little boxes that have like a hole that's shaped like a circle, and another one like a triangle, another one like a square?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then there's those little pieces that you have to put in that place.
Yeah.
That's literally the only thing I remember about the test.
Wow. Somebody's asking this question, Chris, who's a really nice guy. I'm not sure what to say. He said, damn, I'm so ill. How do I stop throwing up? How do I stop being sick? What advice would you give for that? I'm not sure what the illness is, but you can't stop being sick. Like, for me, I drink a load of water, vitamins, and I don't know what else I would do. Like, I can't remember last time I was constantly throwing up. Any advice for that, Andre? I don't know what to say to that.
Okay, Chris, you gotta, as Adam was saying, check your diet, check your sleep, and also make sure not just that you're eating enough, but you're getting the right amount of nutrients. And even though doctors and like the whole health department of the world is usually bullshit, you should still go check yourself at the doctor. Like, it still works to a certain extent. Like, if I hadn't gone to the doctor, I wouldn't have found out that I have some cardiovascular problems. And
I didn't know that. Are you okay? I had no idea. Are they serious or minor?
Oh, it's very minor. Like, I just get chest pains every so often, and I started taking some pills. I don't really take them anymore, but I don't get the pains anymore.
I avoid any type of medication, but you know that a lot of chest pains come through anxiety and stress. That's the biggest killer in the world, stress. So maybe when you're having those chest pains, you become anxious. Well, you're anxious, which leads to chest pains, and then when you have chest pains, you become more anxious, which makes the chest pains worse.
Well, not really. Not in my situation. That might work. That might happen to other people, but this would just happen to me, like, in the middle of nowhere. Say, one time there was like this speech being done at school by some kid's mom that was talking about a book she wrote, and I was just, chill. I was sitting down. I suddenly got like a horrible chest pain.
Wow.
Like, I wasn't screaming or anything, but like, it hurt a lot. Just suddenly, it feels like that. I imagine that's how a heart attack feels like, but to a much lesser extent.
Okay. Yeah. It's hard to know. Yeah, it's only what you can imagine. I've never had a heart attack. I'm just gonna read a few more comments, Bo. You're doing, mate. I know I always say age is a number, so I shouldn't really say this, but for 15 years old, mate, the way you speak is absolutely incredible for 15. It's absolutely sensational. So when I tell people, like, I worked at this international school. The kids are such high level. They're so intelligent. They're critical thinkers. They speak better English than most people in England. People go, yo, stop lying. Stop exaggerating. I'm like, you have no idea the level of these kids. Like, they think, oh, you teach at a school in Mexico. These kids don't speak any English. They're uneducated. How do you feel about, I know it's hilarious. How do you feel about the typical Western stereotype of Mexicans being drug dealers, the cartel, uneducated, can't speak English? Like, have no culture, like in regards to they never leave their country because they can't afford it. Everyone lives in poverty. That's what I got people saying. If you move to Mexico, you'll get killed. They're gonna come for you, the cartel. I'm like, okay, have you ever been? They're like, no, but I've seen it on the movies, Adam. I've seen it. I'm like, all right, you've seen it on the movies. Shut your mouth. So how do you feel about that stereotype of, I don't know, the typical Mexican stereotype?
I've never been like in any sort of like dangerous situation other than being like offered drugs on the street ever so often.
Yeah.
But like Mexico, that stereotype is heavily exaggerated. There's also like another. Yeah, but there's another side to that stereotype, which is that Mexico is like an extremely beautiful place, rich in culture, which is also heavily exaggerated. Like, say where we live, like you'll say, oh, it's such a beautiful place.
What's that voice? What was that voice? It's such a beautiful place. What was that accent? Such a beautiful place.
I have no idea. Like,
we'll take it though. We'll take it. Yeah.
Okay. So people will see like where we live and they'll think, wow, it's such a beautiful area.
They call it paradise.
But
yeah,
they call it paradise. But in reality, like you go to the other side of the city and it's just a bunch of like unfinished buildings and graffiti that is kind of like illegible.
It's every country in it. Every country has its positives and negatives. Every single country, like it is what it is. There's different states and different ways of living and all of that. But I will say this: you might disagree because this is funny. A lot of people call Mexicans lazy, but I think their work ethic is incredible, especially like the lower class people like that work on the building sites and stuff like that. And I know you'll probably say it's the same in any country. You get people who work hard, others that are lazy. But do you think the country in general is hardworking, high work ethic, or lazy in general from your life experience?
Okay, Adam, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
They work hard, but they don't work smart.
Ah, yes. That's what I was going to say that. It's crazy. I was going to say that.
Yeah. Like if somebody is stuck in that kind of a job, it's probably not their fault, right? They were just raised that way. They just probably didn't have the opportunities to enter a higher class job, right?
Yeah, like, people say it's lack of education.
Yeah, this sounds hypocritical because we were just talking against the Mexican poverty stereotype.
Yeah.
But most people in Mexico, they work hard. They work hard in their job, but they don't work smart. They don't try to rise in the social ladder. They just kind of like get their job, work hard in it, get back home, and lays off.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Most Mexicans are also obese. Like,
it's the number one in the world now for the highest levels of obesity is now Mexico. It was the United States. It's now Mexico, and I think the stereotype of most Mexicans love to drink Coca-Cola is pretty legit.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
And a lot of tortillas and all of that.
Yeah, sometimes we have this joke in Mexico where we call sometimes you pass by the street and there's like a bottle of Coke filled with a strange yellow substance.
Well, yes,
it's
yes.
Piss, right? Yeah, we call that Coca de Piña, like pineapple Coke, because people they drink it and they piss in it, and it looks like it's pineapple Coke. Oh, just go on and drink it.
I hope you've never done that. I hope you've never done that.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. We'll leave that as a mystery, won't we? We'll leave that as a mystery. So, for you, like on the weekend, do you have things that you do? Like, I do this activity, I hang out with friends, you just stay at home. Does it change week to week? Do you do a lot of stuff with your family? Are you on video games? What is it you do on like the weekend?
Okay, I have like a set schedule for especially my summer,
Okay.
and that does not include like time to go out and socialize. Well, I do have like every other day that I go out somewhere with my friends, then I'll just have like a checklist of things to do before and after that meetup.
Okay.
So I'll just read out my schedule, okay?
Yeah, go for
You
it.
okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this is my summer routine. So at 7 a.m. I'll wake up, shower, stretch, do some exercise.
How long do you stretch
eat
for?
breakfast.
How long do you stretch for? Like, it's not just like, you put your arms up. Like, do you do a full-blown stretching workout?
No, I just do like a short 5 to 10 minute routine.
Oh, okay, that's good. It's a great way to start the day by stretching. It's really underrated stretching. Guys in the live, all of you should be stretching every single day.
Yeah.
It's incredible for you.
Yeah, especially if you're doing like exercise or weights.
Yeah.
And I'm not super flexible. Like I'm average or slightly above average.
Yeah.
Well, not average, but like I've got healthy flexibility.
Yeah, and I think if you're working the 9 to 5 job, sat down all the time, you should be getting up every 20, 30 minutes to just have a good 1 minute stretch. If you just sat down all the time and then you get home and sit down and watch Netflix and then you go to bed and lay down, you've got to be stretching that body out. It's going to get so stiff.
Yeah, like this modern generation is the generation that spends the most time of our day sitting down.
I agree. Yeah, no doubt. There's no doubt.
Crazy. We spend more time of our day laying and sitting down than standing up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's like 2/3 almost for many people. 2/3 of the day they're sat down or laying down. That's very true.
And like, it sounds like I'm saying that because, I don't do that. I'm different. I'm sitting down right now.
Same, mate. I've never sat down so much in my life. Like, I was always on the go constantly, but doing live streams 2 or 3, 4 hours, then you have an online website. I had the Patreon. It's like, it's everything I didn't want to be, in the sense of sitting on my ass looking at a screen. I always wanted to avoid that, like, as a young adult. So I'm not doing that. There's no way I'm just going to sit down and look at a screen. But at least this way, I'm influencing people and inspiring people, and it's on my time. I couldn't just sit there in an office typing stuff in.
But have you heard of standing desks?
No.
They're basically just desks that are like adjustable, or desks that you can use while standing.
Oh, okay, that'd be good.
Somehow people say it also helps with like your productivity, that while standing up your brain kind of flows better.
I've heard that.
I don't really know about that. I think my little brother has one. I don't know why, but yeah.
I get my best ideas. Okay. I get my best ideas whilst I'm out walking, and stood up. My best ideas, my most creative ideas, and it's usually late at night. I go for late night walks, mate, like 1 a.m. I love it. It's so peaceful. And that's where that's when I start thinking of like song lyrics, or, okay, I'm going to code this, or that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I love doing that when there's no one about, whilst everyone else is sleeping. The illusion's walking around, just chilling out. And that's where I'm really thinking, like, intensely, late at night on a walk. Pretty much do it every day.
I made a video on shower thoughts. You know shower thoughts, right? That you're like in the shower and you suddenly think about some great idea, right?
Yeah. Again, when you're in the shower, you're often just in that present. You relax, like you're not really worrying about anything when you're in the shower.
Yeah. My sort of controversial opinion on that is that we get our best thoughts in the shower because you can't bring your phone in the shower.
That's very true. And a lot of people like to sing in the shower as well, don't they? They like to sing. They become creative. Most people sing in the shower for whatever reason. Like, they don't sing anywhere else. As soon as they're in the shower, a lot of people like to sing. And I don't know what that is, what makes them want to sing whilst they're in the shower. But I know I always do. I sing quite a lot. Just I can't help myself. Not that I'm a good singer. I think singing's really, it brings you joy. Like it soothes your soul being creative and singing and telling jokes and all that stuff. I think it's a good thing. Even if you're not a great singer, if you enjoy singing,
You know,
it's good for you.
I thought that was like an exaggerated stereotype because I never sing in the shower. I've never heard anyone in my family sing in the shower.
No,
And
I'm going off people. Like it's not like I get in the shower with different people, like, and I'm aware of it. Just people that tell me that they sing in the shower. I'm going, I do that as well. A lot of people have come out and said that, but I don't know. I don't know how many people do it. It's not like,
Adam, I think that might be like observation bias that you think that more
I agree.
people do it.
I agree with that.
Right?
Yeah, a lot of the time I go off my experience. When I go in the shower, I sing, I enjoy it. But I often have music playing whilst I'm in the shower. So I'm singing to the song that's playing. I'm not just randomly singing. I have a song. Like for whatever reason, I like to do that in the shower. I have to have music playing for me. Like when I'm in there. Don't know why. I don't take baths. Like never cared about baths. We don't really do that here in Mexico, do we? Like especially with water shortages and stuff like that.
Like unless you're in the hotels.
Yeah, in the hotels you have everything. They give you hot tubs, baths, like everything you can imagine in these resorts. Pretty much all 5-star, the ones by the beach. But for me, yeah, just a quick shower in and out. And then the summer, it's like sometimes you think, why did I even take a shower? 2 minutes later, you're sweating. Well, at least I am in the summer. It's frustrating. What's this saying here? Somebody said, work when the monsters and demons are asleep. One of my doctors told me to take a notepad into the shower. Ha ha ha. She might be onto something. And Neil, that's a ridiculous comment, but pretty funny. It's about me. Don't worry, Andre.
What?
No, he's saying that I look like this footballer who's an invert. An invert is basically somebody who was like born one sex and changed. So he's just having a bit of banter, saying I look like a football. Yeah, he's just joking around. Somebody's asking me. I don't really know if I want to do this, but I often do it. Somebody's asking me to sing a little bit of "It's Raining Men," which I think was by the Weather Girls. Have you ever heard that song, Andre?
No, I've never heard of that.
You probably don't want to.
It's probably not of my generation, most likely.
Okay, it basically goes, I'm only going to say a line. I can't be singing this song. I can't even remember the lyrics to it. It's from like the early 80s or something, the Weather Girls. So it goes, it's raining men, hallelujah, it's raining men. And that's about it. Something about absolutely soaking wet as well, but let's not get into that. So I don't know why he's asking me to sing that song, but I did it because I really like Joey, guy from London, funny guy. All right, somebody said this. This is good. Honey Bunny 420. What a great name, Honey Bunny. We should be growing food, which is labor intensive, walking and foraging, making things, not sitting on our asses. So do you think at school, you said we should be learning nutrition. Do you think we should be learning how to plant fruit and vegetables and how to cook and all of that and the balanced diet? Do you think that's crucial? Because people's diets in general are absolutely shocking. The average person's diet in the West is absolutely disgraceful.
I think that we should be taught like a good structured plan of what we should eat, but it should be different possible plans because, you know, you have like the traditional Mexico plate of good eating, like eat 60% fruits and vegetables and only like 10% meats and all that. That is most like it's healthy, but if you really want to get the most out of your life, it's bullshit.
But don't you also think every person will have, again, like the education system, every person has a specific diet that might benefit them. Like depending on your build and your body type and your, I don't know, your mindset, that telling all of us to
have a certain diet and eat this amount of protein and carbohydrates and fats and starch and all of that. It varies again from person to person, maybe from male to female, from your weight, from your height, your BMI, all of that. I think you just have to figure out what's right for you, like in life, like physically, spiritually, mentally. Figure out what's right for you, not doing what you think society thinks you should do. That's a trap. You shouldn't be doing that. Well, it works for me. Adam, you shouldn't be sleeping 3 hours. It works for me. I'm good with it.
In most situations, I think that works, but not in the case of diet and nutrition, because the build and like the difference in what each person should eat only really changes how much you should eat and not really what you should eat. Like one person that weighs, say, 50 kilos, which is very, very light.
Yeah.
They would want to eat much more
carbs
to gain muscle, to gain weight, than somebody that's, I don't know, 80 kilos who might want to lose weight a bit.
That's true. And what Lady Hawk, who's a really, really, really intelligent woman, she's in the chat. She said, what about your blood type? Your blood type has to have a say in your diet, your blood type. There's different types of blood types. Do you know what your blood type is?
I think it's A negative. I'm not really sure about that. Is that a common blood type?
It's not. The most common is O plus, which is what I am. But no, I don't think yours is common. Like, I think the rarest blood type is AB negative. AB negative, and like basically, if you need blood, if you've been in a car crash, like there's only like 1% or 2% of donors that are able to provide you with blood. But when it comes to blood, I'm just going to say, Joey Williams, thank you, baby. Thank you so much, bro. Nothing but love. Funny guy. I need to get you on the live. So, you know, they're always promoting and pushing, and celebrities and politicians promoting you to give blood. Do your bit to help humanity. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what they're doing with that blood. I'm not going to go deep into it. I know YouTube don't like this. Like, I don't know what they're doing with that blood. I don't know if it is just going to people who actually need it, or people are doing other things with that blood. So would you ever give blood?
No.
Yeah, I have no interest.
Honestly, I think that there's much better ways to contribute to society than just giving blood. Like, I'd rather give something that is less common, and like blood is already like very needed, but something that's less common and will help one specific person, you know?
Yeah. So what type of things? What type of things would you do for people, like, to help them? Like, what type of things could we all do that are inexpensive that we could do to help somebody today? Like, today, what can we do to make somebody happier or healthier or more aware? Is there anything we could do, like, on a daily basis to help with that?
Definitely giving solutions. Like, I sometimes go on like online self-improvement forums or Discord servers and stuff, and people have like their dilemmas there, and this happened, how do I do this and this, and I'll answer. Like, I sometimes did that in class.
That's nice. Bored. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, the value that I provide in my YouTube channel, that's heavily focused on giving solutions and basically like solving people's problems, giving people
problem solving. Yeah, problem solving is huge. Like, that's something I do. Like, I'll try and answer any question people have for me, and I'll be honest with them, and I'll do it in a way where I really want to help them. Like, it's so easy to do things to help people. Like, it really is. I'll help, like, people put their groceries into their car if it's an elderly person that's struggling. Like, I make people laugh every day. I go out of my way to make people laugh. What other stuff do I do? That I like I said, I teach, I coach, I want people to get better. And I think if more people did that, people are more focused on competing against everybody else, which is important. You need to compete. It's healthy to compete, to push yourself, to get better. But for me, like, if all of us just went about our business where we tried to help other people, this world will be a million times better. But it's been designed in a way for us to be divided and compete at every level with social status and socioeconomic background and all of that. It's, you might disagree and go, no, that's good. I want to be competing. I want to be rich. I want all of that.
I disagree.
That's
I
fine.
disagree, but in another way.
Go on.
I think that people don't. What you're saying is that most people don't help and compete instead.
I think they're so self-focused, so egomaniac, so focusing on themselves that they don't want to go about helping other people if it doesn't benefit them directly, instantly. They need to. It's like karma. People go, I'll do that because maybe in the future good's going to happen. They have that mindset, and I don't like that. You should just do things for people for doing them. But I think most people go through the day where they're not going out of their way to help people. Like, they have no interest in helping people. I watched a study on it, actually, how it works, that most people have no interest at all in doing that. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't care about helping, especially if it's people they don't know. If they know them, it's like, okay, I'll help you because I know you. But for me, I think we're all connected. I love helping people, man. A lot of the stuff I do, I don't even tell people about. But so how do you disagree with me? I'm intrigued.
Oh, okay. So what I disagree in is that I think that people don't help, like as you said, but they don't compete either.
Yeah. Tell me about this. I watched your video about this. This is really interesting. Go on.
Oh yeah, I made a video on that.
Yeah, it's really
People
good.
Are so like soft nowadays, so submissive that they just won't. They don't know what they want. They don't go for what they want. Oh, also, I'm getting a bit off topic, but something you said earlier that people only do something good for like the karma in the future, right?
I think so.
That's what I don't like about Christianity and religion in general. That people are like, oh, well, do this and help this person and don't commit this sin and you will go to heaven.
Okay.
Like, if you're just doing that to help another person to get into heaven, then you're not really helping them. You're not really.
That's really interesting. You're again
person.
doing it for your own benefit deep down when it comes down to it. That's a great way of looking at it. You're doing it for your own potential benefit rather than I'm helping that person because I just want to help that person. There's a motive to it. There shouldn't be a motive to helping somebody. It should just be, there we go. That's a great point. That is a great point. I'm going to do this because this book or this person tells me this is going to give me this reward by doing that. So I agree with that. But go back to your thing about how a lot of people now, they don't compete. They're submissive. They're comfortable being comfortable. They don't want to be challenged. I've noticed most people in the world now don't want to be challenged. They want everything easy. And I think that's very weak. I think it's extremely weak. So go back to that about people being submissive.
Yeah. Okay, wait a second. Before that, another thing I want to say about what we were talking about with kindness.
Yeah.
I think that the only times when people will actually be genuinely good and kind to others is 1, out of pity, or 2, out of love.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Those 2 situations are the only times when someone will ever be like genuinely kind to someone else.
Do you remember when I taught you about acts of? Do you remember when I taught you about acts of kindness?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, we're talking about acts of kindness and the little things you can do for the people, and I really enjoyed teaching that unit, acts of kindness, the things that you can do, and inspire people. Do you agree with this? I think it's undeniable, but somebody said there's a huge difference between empathy and sympathy. So sympathy is having a sense of what someone else is going through. Empathy is having gone through the same thing. Do you agree with that? Do you want me to say it again?
I think empathy, no, I get it. I think that empathy means more like understanding what somebody is feeling.
But is that because you've gone through that similar experience that you can understand?
Yeah, then, yeah.
But the thing is, the issue with this is, for me, with empathy, because I don't like sympathy. I think sympathy is where you you pity people, you feel sorry for them. Sympathy. I don't really like that word. But empathy. So maybe you've gone through a similar ordeal, but it doesn't mean that you feel the same way about it. You know what I mean? So you might say, I feel exactly what you're going through. It's like, but you don't, because I'm different. Like I may have reacted completely different to the way you did, but you've also gone through a similar thing. I don't want to give examples. Okay, maybe it's like a car crash. Maybe they both experienced a car crash.
Yeah.
One of them broke the arm, the other one broke their arm as well. But you deal with things differently, don't you? It's like, maybe I broke my arm, but I was like a college star pitcher for my baseball team. So I broke my arm, and now I'm not going to get my scholarship. Somebody else broke their exact same arm, but they're not athletic. Like it's their weaker hand, because maybe it was the right hand, but this person's left-handed, etc. So you've had the same thing, the car crash, you broke your arm. You're going to have empathy for each other. But do you know what I mean? It's different in regards to the situation. Do you get what I'm saying?
I think in the end, it all comes down to like the specifics of the situation. Well, not the specifics.
Yeah.
But there's some, for example, when I see that someone that's going through any sort of like, I don't know, social shunning.
Yeah.
I'll feel bad. I'll feel like, God damn, I feel what he's going through, right? Because when you see, like, how somebody, I know the difference between sympathy and empathy now.
Go on.
I just made the connection.
Go on, great. I love that when the light bulb turns on. Go on. How do you see it?
Sympathy is when you see what happens to another person and you think you know what they're feeling. Empathy is when you see how another person acts and then you know what they're feeling.
What if they're good at acting and hiding the way they feel? A lot of people hide their actual emotions to the real world.
Well, in the end, like, you can never actually fully know how somebody's feeling, so...
Yeah, that's true. I get it.
That could also happen.
Yeah, I get it. But it's like, for me, for example, I've gone through this massive spiritual awakening in the last 2 years. Massive. And so when I communicate with people who've gone through similar awakenings, and maybe they've found God, or maybe they've questioned society, maybe their whole world's been flipped upside down like mine, I can connect with those people and feel empathy for what they've gone through. But again, there's different levels to it all. There's different levels. Like, I gave up my marriage, I gave up my job, I gave up multiple things for this journey. I don't watch professional sports anymore. You know, I'm obsessed with sports. So we all go through different journeys with the awakening, but every time I speak to somebody who's gone through one and these major changes, I'm able to connect with them. It doesn't mean I feel exactly the same way as them. But if they say, I'll give you an example of empathy where I can really connect with it, is when a lot of people have gone through these awakenings and they go, Adam, I've lost so many friends. I've lost so many friends during this. And I can connect with that. I think we can all connect with that feeling of losing friends that you thought were your close friends. And then you have this awakening, you start questioning your reality and they're not interested. So I think that's a way where I can emphasize with people losing friends during this big ass awakening, where I think we can all actually emphasize with that, because I think it has. Everyone I've spoken to who's gone through this awakening have lost so many friends. They've gained loads of new ones, but they've lost loads. And that's something I can really empathize with.
my awakening in like self-improvement was kind of like that too, because when you decide to change yourself and absolutely like switch your life around, go in another direction, like so many people they'll just seem like so different. Say that when you become more like conscious and mindful of the present moment, you start noticing how unconscious and unmindful other people are. It's
amazing.
It's so weird.
Yeah, the more conscious you become, the more aware you become that other people are insanely unconscious and unaware. And that can lead to frustration. But I've got over that now. It used to anger me and frustrate me. It's like, but who are we to get angry and judge people for the way they see the world? Like, I try and focus on the way I see it, be around like-minded people, and those people who, for me, are still plugged into the matrix. That's on them. And like in my live streams, I focus, like I'd say 95% of people in my live streams, they're the people I want to interact with. They're the people that, for me, are aware and question their reality and care about humanity and all of that. So it used to piss me off.
How about that last 5%?
Yeah, well, but there's some people in my chat that come in just to hammer me and try and bring the frequencies down. I don't know who they are. There's always a couple that will come in and, like, one guy said something earlier. I'll read out his comment. I don't usually give them much time, but like, he's basically saying like I've become a new age Christian and I'm conning people or something with my channel and all that type. I know, but it's the type of stuff that you have to deal with if you get a relatively popular channel. People try and bring it down and
what does that even mean?
A lot of the time I don't know what a new age Christian, they just say I'm faking. Like everything I say is like fake and false and for attention, that I'm an actor, that I'm this, that, and the other. And when people actually meet me, like Kathy in the chat, I taught you, people know that this guy here is just Adam. It's not some character. Like, you know what? Let me just read this out from Clout. It says, in the Bible, it specifically says the only way to go to heaven is through faith in Jesus Christ. Good works you will be rewarded for. Catholicism pushes you can go to heaven by doing good works. So I agree with what she's saying there. But Joey said, today an electrician was loading stuff through a cat ladder and was clearly running out of room. I moved his boxes as he loaded and he was so appreciative. Just help if you can. Amazing. So Joey, he moved a few boxes to help somebody and it makes a huge difference. Like I remember the other day I was in a store, grocery shopping, Fresco, and this woman, she wasn't old. I don't know. She's probably mid-30s. She was really short and she couldn't reach for like this cleaning product. And I got it for her and she was so happy. I could have easily seen her struggle. She was trying to jump up and she couldn't get it. I was like, let me get that for you. I felt like Shaquille O'Neal. I felt like I was 7 foot the way I just grabbed it because she was tiny. And the tiny little things like that, she could have just been waiting around for 5 minutes trying to get that or whatever it was. Some people are too afraid to ask for help as well. You know what I mean? You've got to just help them. They're scared to ask for it. Don't want to ask for help. So you do tiny little things like that, man. My neighbor keeps knocking on my door and saying, hey, Adam, I just made this curry. Hey, Adam, I just made this. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. He doesn't have to do that. He just knows I love food.
Yeah.
He knows that I love food, and then basically I'll do nice things for him then, not just because he's done nice things for me. I'm like, all right. So the other day I gave him a Magnum. It was like, oh my God, I was really craving some ice cream and you just give me a Magnum. I was like, yeah, mate, of course. Like, be good to thy neighbor. Like simple things like that. Like where you live, actually, you kind of live in the middle of nowhere. You're not surrounded by neighbors, are you? Really? I don't think.
What?
Where you live, you don't have neighbors. You have like a private community, isn't it?
No, I have plenty of neighbors.
Oh, brilliant. All right. So your neighbors, how well do you know them?
I know many of them like pretty well, and like it's not a well-united community because nowadays people just stay at home. They won't go outside. Like they'll go out in like nightclubs and stuff, but they won't go out to to just in their neighborhood chill, to the park or whatever.
Well, it's because in a nightclub, you don't socialize. You can't hear each other in a nightclub. You're just there. You don't talk. So people are all right with that. In these nightclubs where we live, mate, you can't hear each other talk. So it's just you stood there drinking, staring at people and dancing. You don't talk and communicate in these nightclubs. So you're saying your neighborhood, like you have a community where you actually all know each other and you respect each other, you'd help each other?
No, we don't.
Most communities don't have that.
Some neighbors are like that, some of my neighbors, but most of them aren't. The ones that I have noticed that are like more social with the other neighbors are a German family that's down the street and an Austrian family. And they're from the other side of the world, so maybe it's much like the environment in neighborhoods is much different over there.
Well, growing up in England, once a year, we would like on my street. This is not every single street at all, but on my street where I live, we had something called a street party. It was a street party, and like every house, we all met up. We closed the road off, and we play games and like table tennis tournaments and all the food. There was entertainment and all that stuff, and we did it once a year. We all put in a little bit of money to do it, and that was amazing. So like anytime then I saw anyone on the street, it was always like, hey Keith, hey Josh, hey Lindsay, hey Elizabeth. Like we all knew each other. We all cared about each other. Just because we did that street party once a year, we gained those connections with each other. But like where I lived here in Mexico, you knew where I lived. I'm not going to say it. Really nice gated community, but hardly anybody interacts with each other. They're so busy, again, going to work, coming home, turning Netflix on, going to sleep. You barely even know your actual next door neighbor, let alone your whole street. And growing up when I was younger, everyone knew everybody. You knew all the stories. It was great. And you'd learn a lot from each other. That's dying now, I think. People's social skills are at an all-time low. No doubt in my mind at an all-time low. People's social skills.
I think that my neighborhood might actually be a bit different from that modern thing,
Say that again.
I think that my neighborhood is a bit more social than others.
Sounds like it.
I think that's probably because I've gotten to meet more of my neighbors at the gym, our neighborhood gym. And overall, I think that like going to a public gym is one of the prime places to meet more people and meet like-minded people, especially.
Yeah, I agree with that. I only stopped going to the gym because they were making people wear masks, so I stopped. So I'm not doing that. It's the most ridiculous thing, working out in a mask. So I work out from home now, which I like. But it is nice to be around other people working out. I think a lot of the time in the gym as well, if I go to a gym, I want to be around a gym where people are there to work out. Like everyone's in good shape. For me, it's different. I know there's gyms where you have a range of different people. You know what I mean? People just want to lose a bit of weight. People want to just increase the strength and the cardio. For me, like the one time in my life where I had, in my opinion, a phenomenal body. It's only ever happened once. It's when I trained with my dad, who's a bodybuilder. And the gym where we went, everybody was there.
Dad's a bodybuilder, really?
Yeah, my dad's a bodybuilder. My mum's a marathon runner. I've been gifted with genes, I would say, athletic genes. And the gym my dad took me to, it's called Jimmy's Gym. And everyone was intensely there to work out. There was no talking. There was no music. It was just you're there to work out, and everyone's like going for it, and you constantly motivated. Like you said, you like intense workouts, don't you? You don't like your breaks. Like you want to just get shit done.
I take like 1 minute breaks between sets.
That's fine. No, that's healthy. I'm talking about these people who do like dumbbells and then go on the phone for 5.5 minutes, and then they'll go to a different activity and do something else. They're not really doing anything, really, in my opinion, to So you'll say, yeah, well, they're at the gym, they're lifting a bit of weight, but it's not going to bring long-term positive effects working out that way. So again, growing up at that gym, there was no one on the phone. There was no music. It was old school, like gym stuff, hardly any cardio stuff. It's like, if you want to do cardio, go for a run outside, go play football, go play rugby, go play tennis. We don't need a treadmill and all of that bullshit that most people go to the gym just to go on a treadmill. Go for a run, and like an actual run. For me, it's completely different being on a treadmill.
Why is there such thing as a walking machine? As a machine to walk?
Yeah, there's
on?
walking machines. Yeah, like go for a freaking walk. Like, yeah, there are, mate. There's walking machines and all that stuff. I'm not interested in the cardio at gyms. I go about do that outside of the gym. But yeah, with the gym, like if I go to a gym and I'm surrounded by people half-assing it, and I know you'll say, well, it's on you. You need that motivation. It doesn't matter what's going on around you. If I'm around people on the phone who are talking, who are really out of shape, I'm not as motivated as I am when I'm around people going for it. It's like when I play football, I want to be playing the best players. I don't want to play a half-ass shitty team. I need to be against the best ones. It's how I am. Like if I have a conversation with somebody now, it has to be somebody who's really gonna, like, I can do it with you. I could speak to you all day. I won't waste my energy talking about bullshit anymore. I can't do it. I can't talk about things that are not important to me anymore like I used to be able to do. Like the same shit everyone talks about. Let me just read a few more comments. Somebody says, Lady Hawk said, people either record someone's misfortune or ignore them. Very few intervene. Have you noticed that? Most people, if somebody's messed up or struggling, like say there's a car crash or something, people are more focused on recording it, like videoing it. Like, say if there was a fight, say there's a fight going on, right? Most people would get their phones out and record it rather than intervene and stop the fight. No. They would be recording it.
Wait a second, Adam, I just have like a small intrusive thought.
Go on.
I wonder if my voice can actually be heard on the stream. Can I check that real quick?
Everybody can hear you super clearly, but yeah, you can check for your own mindset, yeah.
Okay. Hello? Can you hear me, world?
Yeah, I feel like we're in the military, but yeah, I can hear you.
Wait a second. I think I'm super behind on the stream right now.
Yeah, you will be, but everyone can hear you. Guys in the chat, can you hear Andre clearly? Because I can tell by the comments they can hear you.
Yeah?
But if you play it, Andre, then it's going to interfere.
What?
Sounds like a horror movie. So pause it.
Okay, I think.
Turn it off.
I think they can hear me.
Yeah, but turn it off.
Yeah. Oh, it's because I have this thing on. Okay.
I was just saying, if you play it whilst I'm
what were we talking
talking,
about? Yeah.
it sounds like a horror movie. So yeah, everyone can hear you. Then for that 30 seconds, it sounded like somebody screaming, like like going through an exorcism. It was horrific. But everyone can hear you. I'm telling you, they can.
I remember that we would actually do that like in online classes, in your class too, that we would like replay the video endlessly and it was just
Yeah, yeah. I know. It was sometimes the internet connection at that school was really frustrating. It would kill me. I'd plan a class and the internet wouldn't work. It wouldn't play the video, and then the whole class was like, "Oh man, how am I going to go about doing this?" But you figure it out. Do you think like being able to adapt is one of the highest levels of intelligence, by being able to adapt to situations?
Adapt to situations.
Adaptability, yeah, where it doesn't go exactly the way you think it's going to go, and you have to think on your feet and adapt. I'm really good at that. Do you think that is a gift to have, where you can just adapt?
Yeah, I think it's hard to say, because a lot of people will just look for an environment that they can adapt to themselves. Yeah. So let's say if someone say that someone's like an entrepreneur, right? You're gonna have to keep your eye open for opportunities, but those opportunities won't always like suit you and be comfortable for you.
Yeah.
So being able to handle that discomfort is, yeah, it's an important skill.
Yeah, they say that your biggest growth comes when you're outside of your comfort zone, and I agree with that. Completely agree with that.
I think I'd change that quote a bit. Your only growth comes when you're outside of your comfort zone.
Oh wow, your only growth comes outside of your comfort zone. Yeah, wow, I think I agree. Yeah, because if you continue to stay in your comfort zone, being comfortable, you're not really growing, are you? You're like stale. You're not evolving.
Pretty much.
So, like, I've lived in 3 countries now. I've gone from England to the US to Mexico.
Yeah.
And like adapting is not easy. Like, especially when I moved here, I gave up my amazing life in Los Angeles. It was like couldn't have been any better, the life I had there. And I came here, mate. I moved here the year of Odile.
Yeah.
So about 5 weeks after moving here, Odile hit, which was the worst recorded hurricane where we live in the history.
Yeah.
And category 4 for another 4 had to be category 4. And
that was horrible. It was torturous.
Horrific, wasn't it? Like, I had no electricity for 2 weeks. What about you?
I actually, during that time, I moved back to Canada for 2 weeks to continue school.
Okay.
Because I was in 2nd grade at that time.
Okay.
Like, I didn't really experience all of that dangerous stuff.
All right. Well, anyway,
it was a dangerous time to live.
It was really like a movie. It was like a zombie apocalypse. I can't describe it. Yeah. So I just moved here. Everybody warned me. I told you like earlier in the stream, don't move to Mexico. It'll be the worst decision of your life. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. I'm like, nah, no, it's not. So about 5 weeks into here, like the worst thing basically happened, that hurricane. And I was here in the summer, which we know is painfully hot. Like where I lived in California, it's perfect all year round. Every day is glorious where I was living in Manhattan Beach, every single day of the year. And I came here, it was the summer, the hurricane. There was all sorts of looting and violence going on after that hurricane. No electricity for 2 weeks. Didn't speak any Spanish. Couldn't communicate with people. Couldn't interact with my family back home. It was I was with my then wife, who at the time it was the first time we'd ever lived together. We were together in the US for 2 years, but we never lived together. So I'm dealing with that. The first time I've ever just lived with somebody, like a girlfriend. All of that happened. And I couldn't have been, I was so out of my comfort zone there. But I will tell you this, about a week into it, and when we first moved in here, we were not in like a nice neighborhood or anything. We were just starting out. We're in an okay neighborhood. But I think I was the only white guy on the street. Whereas now where I live, like the majority of my neighbors are Canadian or American or whatever it is. And about a week into it, the whole community, the street became like best friends. I learned some Spanish. We were sharing each other's food. We were playing football. Like I was coaching the kids football on the street and like all this stuff that was going on. So weirdly, that hurricane got me connected with people.
Together.
Yeah, it brought the community together and it got me meeting people. And then they were like, wow, you're an amazing footballer. Can you coach my kid? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Because I wasn't working either. I didn't have my papers or anything. They were like, oh no, you can just coach my kid. Just do a private with him. Did you know there's a football field around the corner? I'm like, what? There's a football field around the corner? They're like, yeah. And that guy, you see the guy down there, he's got a team. He plays 7 versus 7. I was like, no way. I'm getting excited now talking about it. So I spoke to him and he went, you a good footballer? I went, yeah. I always say this at the first time. Are you a good footballer? I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty good. I say that. I don't go, yeah, I'm incredible at the beginning. Yeah, I'm pretty good. And then they watch me play. They go, geez, you're better than pretty good. So then, because of that hurricane, which was horrific, awful in so many ways. It actually made me appreciate one, like things like air conditioner, internet, like constantly having access to food, which we struggled with, like after about a week of all the stores being closed. So it was real difficult, but it was actually a massive moment of growth for me because my whole life, everything was easy for me. I'd never really gone through adversity at all. It wasn't until then, when I was about 26, 27, that I went through like, whoa, wow, this is incredibly intense. But I grew from it, and it was maybe the best thing that could have happened to me, that hurricane, in a weird way.
You know, it sounds so cliche, but like in a way, it was a blessing in disguise.
I always say that. Did you hear what happened to my
So-
Patreon?
Oh yeah, it got taken down, right?
Yeah, it got taken down for no reason, no warning, and I was making like
What did they?
a lot of money.
What
I
was
was
their
making.
fake reason? What was the supposed reason?
I was breaking community guidelines and I was promoting gambling. But there's thousands of pages that do that. The mainstream do that. Like, it wasn't anything to do with that. Like, I've been doing that for 2 years, and they said I was breaking community guidelines. No warning. I said, why did it take you 2 years? I didn't like complain and say there's all these other platforms doing it. I didn't want to bring anyone down. But they got rid of me, and that's a blessing in disguise. Now I have a website. Kathy, you asking if new people signed up? I saw that you signed up. Thank you so much. And yeah, I think I have about 35 now, and I've not done any promoting for it. So Patreon got taken down, mate. I worked my ass off for 2 years, incredibly hard for 2 years, to create a platform that was respected and people enjoyed. And I was making 45,000 pesos a month from Patreon. And
Wait, Adam.
yeah.
How did you make this website? I want to know because my dad is starting like a shoe business right now. He's selling
Shoes,
like Latin style shoes and overall like cultural accessories and stuff.
Nice.
Like the business is popping off. He's already like selling to a client in Hawaii, and he wants me to make like this what do you call it? An e-shop to promote it. So like what site did he use?
I'll tell you. I can put you in contact with the guy. So this is just unbelievable that I did a live stream telling people what happened with the Patreon. I was like, listen, they deleted my account on 26, 2 months and 6 days after my birthday, and 26 letters in the alphabet. My name's 26, God's 26, all this stuff. I was telling people it was God. Like, it was meant to be. It was a blessing what happened. Because I was getting to the point where I was like, I don't want to keep decoding sports every day. I'm really good at it, but I feel like there's a bigger message to be shared with my knowledge than just telling people who's going to win a sports game, which can be hit and miss. So I kept saying it for like a few months, and then eventually they just take down the page saying it was because I was talking about gambling, which was nonsense. It's because I was talking about God, which they hate more than anything. And a guy called Gabriel, he was in my live stream watching that, and he said, this is disgraceful, this is disgusting. I loved your platform. You did nothing wrong. You were motivating people. He went, I want to help set up a website for you. And multiple people messaged me saying they wanted to set up a website for me. And I was like, wow, people really do care. And he was the first one. And the fact that it's called Gabriel, like the archangel, I was like, this is just meant to be. And he emailed me, because I leave my email in the description. Said, hey, bro, I really want to help you set up a website. Patreon did you dirty, and you're going to get the last laugh. He's very driven by money. He's an amazing guy, but he's very driven by money. It's like, I'm in that making money mode, baby. He's like that. So I've never been massively driven by money, but we all need it, and it's nice to be comfortable. I would love to fly to England in September and not be counting my pennies. I would love to be able to do that. So money is essential. It's important, but he's like, you're going to get double. You're going to make double with this website. They're not going to tax you 20% odd. People see how legit you are now because they removed your platform for no reason because you was exposing too much, basically. So this guy's just basically set me up this website. We've been working really hard for a week and a half together to make it like user friendly and stuff like that. And now people can sign up, they can pay, they can access the content, they can leave comments, and we're going to keep adding to make it better. But he can design a website for you. I'm not sure the cost because he's basically doing me for free. And I said, hey, when I start making money, I want to send you money. He's like, no, I don't want anything. But I don't care if he's watching. I will send him money to his PayPal, whether he likes it or not. He's not going to send it back to me. But only, he said, well, I don't want to receive money from you. I'm doing this because I care about the truth and all of that. So I can give you his contact, basically.
Okay, you can give me his WhatsApp?
I'll give you his WhatsApp. And the guy is so nice, man.
Yeah.
He's so nice. He's from Colorado, but his parents are Mexican, I think. And Colorado's area code is 303. And I had my Patreon deleted with 303 people paying me. So it's just... And my friend who's visiting from LA right now, is in LA. Well, is visiting from LA. He's staying in an apartment, and the number's 303. So I'm really connected to this 303 at the moment. And my mate Joey, who's in the live, is going to put his house up for sale for 303,000, which is hilarious. So yeah, it's great that the thing is the way society is being designed now and set up. You have to be good online, don't you? There are ways of making money online, the way they've set it up. I just know at any point they can take it down, though, and screw you over like they did with Patreon. But with the website, it's mine. I own the domain. So people can complain about it. Nothing's going to happen. There's no community guidelines. It's mine. And I love that. So, blessing in disguise.
Something still could happen.
Very unlikely. Way.
Very unlikely, but it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, anything is pretty much possible. But yeah, blessing in disguise, mate, was the hurricane. You've got to overcome that adversity. That's another topic I taught you about, overcoming adversity and the importance of it. It's crucial. Maggie said this: you rarely get to know yourself and what you can do when you are out of your comfort zone. We both agree with that, don't we?
Yeah. Who's Margie?
Just in the chat, but somebody's asking this. Wow, great question. I'll let you answer it. How does one get out of their comfort zone?
Wait, what did you say?
How do you get out of your comfort zone? How? So many people find it really difficult to basically get out of that comfort zone. They're so comfortable being comfortable. I'm fine. I'm all good. Todo bien. Like, how do you get the motivation to do that?
Look, there's something I preach on my channel that is basically to start with the smallest thing at a time, because most people will never have the discipline to properly get out of their comfort zone. Like, you can't just go from being completely down bad in the depths of depression to hitting a 2-hour workout the next day, right? So you've got to start with literally, it sounds so cliche, but literally start with making your bed.
Brilliant.
And then the next day, what I've said many times on my channel is start with doing 1 push-up a day.
Boom.
Then 2, then 3. And take it slowly until you're able to build up the discipline to actually do the things that seem harder to you. Say something that is very uncomfortable to me and I've had a hard time maintaining is martial arts.
Okay.
Because I'm not very pain resistant. So yeah, I want to start doing that. I used to do some classes of that, but I ended up quitting because it was just too much for me. But I'm just starting that again soon.
Right, I'm gonna say something here. I'm gonna say something here, which my friend who's in town, who he looks like. Have you ever seen the movie Rambo? Do you know who?
My dad.
Rambo and Sylvester Stallone is just the most incredible body back in the day from the 80s. It's an action movie. He told me, he said, every live, you should stop and do push-ups. So I'm going to say it right now. And we'll see. I can't tell what other people are going to do. I'm not going to be doing it in front of people. Right. This is including you, Andre. Right now, guys. All right. Not meaning to be cheesy. Right now, get up. Do as many push-ups as you can, whether it's 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 30. I'm going to get down now and do as many as I can. So, Andre, you don't even have to tell me how many you've done. I'm about to get down now, and I'm going to do some push-ups and see how it makes me feel afterwards. All right, guys, if you listen to me, do some push-ups now. Do something, or do some jumping jacks, something, and see how you feel. Are you going to do some, Andre?
Yeah, I'm going to come back. See ya.
All right. Don't leave the call, though. Don't leave the call. I'm going down. That's what she said.
Okay.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 8, 9. Boom. I did 30. Got a red face though. I pumped out 30. How's the biceps looking? Not bad. I'm so red today, like a lobster from the pool yesterday. Yeah, boom. So for me, guys, I'm going to speak to the chat for a little bit. Joey is selling it for 303. I love that. The more you push it to the limit, the easier it is. I agree, Justin. It's like digging a hole. The first time you start digging a hole, it's really challenging. But then the second day, it becomes easier. The third day, it becomes easier. It's literally like digging a hole. Same with lifting weights. Do push-ups, squats, crunches during commercials. Boom. I love that. So going to the gym is good for the social part, but for me, I don't want to socialize when I'm working out. So I think some of the best workouts, you don't need machines. Push-ups, sit-ups, lunges, squats, wall sits, all that good stuff. Going for a run, jumping jacks. You don't need the gym, like for my body type anyway. And I think all of us, even like, well, maybe not these elite athletes and stuff, but we can all do that little bit more. All right, whether it is a few push-ups, a little jog, we can all do a little bit more. I know people will have their excuses, and there's people that are bedridden and they can't.
20 push-ups, but that's because last night I did like a heavy push workout with the bench press and all that.
Mate, 20 push-ups is great. A lot of people can't do one in the world. They can't do one. 27 for Joey.
Yeah.
Joey got 27 when there was 27 likes. Whoa, dance. Do you like to dance, Andre?
No, I don't. No, I don't at all. But I'll try. If it gets me subscribers, if you'll subscribe to me, if everyone on the stream subscribes, then I'll dance.
But you're doing the thing that we said not to do, doing things for ego, for reward. Just dance for the sake of like with me, I sing and dance and all of that. A lot of the time, it's like I don't really dance here in my lives, but I just go with the flow, man. Like if it feels right, I'll do it. But so if you dance, what type of dancing would you do?
That's a good question. What type of dancing would I do? I'd probably do some sort of like. What types of dancing even is there? I don't even know about that.
I don't know. Like there's break dancing, there's like ballet dancing, and you got your jazz, you got your tap, you got so many different ways of dancing. But for me, like I don't do much dancing. Like I'll ask you this question: would you rather be a phenomenal singer, dancer, or actor? This goes in the chat as well. I'll say it again. Would you rather be a phenomenal singer, dancer, or actor if you had that given talent? Which one? What about you, Andre?
Okay. I'd choose actor because it just gives you more. I think the actors get paid more, and I think I just enjoy that much more than dancing or singing.
Singing for
But
me.
yeah, you were also asking what type of dance
Yeah.
I would like to do. Probably break dance.
Yeah.
So right now I have 19 subscribers. Last time I checked. If in the next 5 minutes I have 25 subscribers, I will turn on my camera and break dance.
You're gonna break dance, mate. You mean you're gonna attempt to break dance? It's not something you can just do. You can't just break dance like with no training. But you're gonna try it.
I will attempt. Yes, I will attempt.
Can you put your link in the comment now, Andre, for your videos, for your channel? Can you put the link there? Put your link there. Guys, Andre said he's on 19 subs. If he gets to 25 by the end of the stream, he's going to attempt to break dance, which is hilarious. I would love to see him do that. So in a way, I think believing in yourself is important. It's huge. So do you think confidence is the main thing for anything? Confidence is huge.
Oh, that Margie Morales, in a way, I think okay. I don't think that doesn't really specifically mean confidence. I think what's more important is the power of belief. Like, I used to be like pretty depressed, to be honest.
Yeah, you've grown. I will say this. I will say this
Yeah.
about you. Your confidence and social skills have grown insanely in 2 years, like dramatically. It's like a different kid. But I know, then you were 13, now you're 15. But there's no way you could have come on this call a year and a half ago. No way.
No, I wouldn't have.
So what?
Much less been able to talk about like this kind of stuff.
Yeah, at the level that you do it as well, with the confidence that you have. Again, confidence comes a lot with knowledge, doesn't it? Like when you've gathered a lot of knowledge, you have that confidence, which is just, you've kind of earned it. You know what I mean? Like when I go live and I talk about these numbers and I can spiel all of these interesting facts off, that's confidence, but I've earned that confidence. You know what I mean? It's like with a lot of things you do, you've got to earn that confidence. It's not just given to you. You've got to put in the work for me. There's some people who are naturally God-givenly confident, aren't they? They have just all these gifts and they're beautiful and they've got all the things that we supposedly want to achieve in society. But in general, I think you've got to earn your confidence. You've got to earn it. So for you, what's been the biggest thing that's taken you from this shy kid who struggled to speak with people and very like introverted to being now the guy helping people, being so confident, being funny, and having a chat now with a grown man who's pretty intelligent, and you're holding your own, and you even, if I say something you don't agree with it, you go, I kind of don't agree with that quote. I would change it. I love that you're doing that. You're not, a lot of the kids at the school, they looked up to me so much, didn't they? They would not question anything Mr. Adams said, but you can. And I love that about you. So what changed? Is it studying? Is it you got taller? You felt more comfortable in your own skin? Like, did you get a girlfriend? What flipped for you to go from being shy and an introvert to being like an extrovert pretty much now who's confident?
I'm still quite an introvert. Like I still keep to myself. I'm confident in myself, but I won't go out of my way to make all that social connections. It's not really my kind of thing. But I'll tell you what got me out of like the worst part and got me like to the more average range.
Okay.
So basically, it wasn't just like a switch. It was more like a journey. So say that first I started like during online classes, I would wake up every single day at 5 a.m. Why do you think that was?
To work out?
I wasn't doing any no.
Sunset, to see the sunset? Sunrise?
To play video games.
Oh man, really? What were you playing?
Because I just wanted to spend Minecraft mainly.
What is it about
I
that
was just
game that
basically-
kids are so obsessed with Minecraft and Fortnite? Like, what is it? Do you think that gets children's attention when everyone was obsessed with Minecraft and Fortnite? Why? How are you being programmed in a way? Like, why were you so obsessed with Minecraft where you would wake up at 5 a.m. to
I'll tell you
play
why.
around? Yeah, go on.
It's a sense of accomplishment and progress. You know, my dad told me that men have 3 desires, which are adventure, battle, and a beauty to rescue.
Wow.
So that's kind of like fulfilled by modern fake addictions. So say Minecraft will give you that sense of adventure, and Fortnite that sense
Dopamine.
of battle, and yeah, all of that. It's basically like appealing to our natural, like, tribal ancient instincts, but in a way that's not actually genuine.
Wow, yeah.
So
that-
it just gives you like a fake sense of fulfillment.
What you almost like junk food, like with all the additives, you get that fake sense of fulfillment when in reality you're actually destroying your body. But it feels like
I think-
you're fulfilled.
Yeah, that's a bit different though. I think that people eat junk food more because they're like anxious and they kind of like do it just to you know how people say that when someone's addicted to drinking, they drink their sorrows away?
They say
It's the same
to
with
be
junk food.
truly
they eat their sorrows away.
to truly be an addict with alcohol, for me, it's the first thing you think of when you wake up. That's the true addiction for me. If it's the first thing, like
Yeah.
for you, the first thing you did was play your video game. That's pretty close to an addiction for me. If that's if the
Yeah,
first thing you
very
want is a beer, or the first thing you want is junk food, or the first thing you want is like to masturbate or whatever, every morning it's the same thing, then I think you have an addiction. But when,
Yeah, so every day the first thing I think of whenever I wake up is self-improvement. And I guess that means I'm addicted to self-improvement. And yeah, like I am. It's a good thing. So that's why my channel banner says, pick your addiction or let your addiction pick you.
wow, I always say, do you control your mind, or is your mind being controlled? Like, do you control your mind, or are you under mind control? Something like that. So people are wanting your link, bro. I think you're definitely going to hit that 25 mark. Put the link in there. A few people have said they'll sign up if you put the link. They're asking where it is.
Oh, okay. Here, I'm saying it again. Boom.
And tell me the name of your page. I want to see it go up.
It's Weekly Gains, but I changed my channel name to that a while ago, and like it still doesn't show up. It only shows up with the old name, which is my real full name.
Well, I'm pretty sure I subbed to you, so I should be able to find it.
Yeah.
What it's your actual name, like your real name, your birth name?
That was my old name. It was.
Is it
I can
Coleman?
just say it. What?
No, who's Andre Coleman?
No, it's. I'm just gonna say my last name. Like I don't really find a problem with that. It was Andre Stirrup.
All right, let me find it then. Why isn't
Just
the
look
name
up Andre
updated?
Stirrup and it'll show up.
Okay.
It's just a YouTube glitch. I really don't know.
All right, let me
I
type
found
it
that
in.
the only solution that people said it was online was just waiting and waiting and waiting. So
Do you have any friends or students that support your page?
yes, but a lot of people, not many people, like support it completely, and they're like, "Wow, it's some great work you're doing."
Yeah.
Some
You're not
people
really
do,
getting
but-
you're not getting a lot of like acknowledgement for the work. So you're on 20, bro. You're on 22 now.
Yeah, like my friend the only friend I have that like really likes my channel, and they've really actively said that they there's some good vetoes there is Ernesto. You remember him?
Yeah, of course I remember Ernesto. Yeah, because he's a kid that really wants to grow, probably socially, and his confidence, because he's probably pretty low, Ernesto. But he's a sweet kid.
Yeah, he's growing a lot. He actually got a buzz cut.
No, I think looking like Forrest Gump.
He's looking like Andrew Tate.
Yeah, he's got taller, and he wears sunglasses and stuff now, shades.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good that he's coming out
now too.
And he was relatively new, wasn't he? He's only been at the school a few years, so starting at a new school can't be easy for anybody. I never really had that. I never ever went to a school and like halfway through had to leave to another one. So I went from like primary to middle to high school, all of that. But I never left halfway through a school year or halfway through a school to go to another one. So I don't know. I would have been fine with it. My personality as a child, it wouldn't have been an issue. But leaving behind your friends, I think, is tough. So yeah, where we live, a lot of new people come, don't they? Because their parents get like a 2-year contract to work in a resort or to do marketing or set up a restaurant or whatever, and then they end up moving. There's a lot of kids that go to that school that come and go. What was the kid called?
Yeah.
Who really confident kid. He was in your group for like a year, and then he had to leave. He had a younger brother. He was like really confident. He'd lived all over the world. Tiago. So Tiago was a prime example of at like the age of 12 or whatever.
We still keep in contact with him. Like we still talk with him a lot.
Yeah, he was a great kid, a really amazing kid, and very confident kid. And I bet he's already been to like 20 different schools.
Not that much, but he's been to like Argentina, Spain, and now he's in Cancun, I think.
Yeah, but then he went to the one in where we live, and I'm sure he was in the Middle East as well at one point. He said.
Oh yeah, his brother was also born in Africa. That's really weird.
That's what I'm saying. So they have this unique story, and he goes, like, he comes to a school for like a year. It's like Leah. Leah's a great girl. Do you remember Leah? Zach, I won't say her last name.
Oh yeah,
Leah.
She's moving.
She's moved, hasn't she, to the Dominican Republic?
She hasn't moved just yet, but they're like the move is already planned. They're just here to like finish the school year and stuff.
Okay, so
like, I think they're moving officially this summer.
Yeah, so because of her mum's job, who works in real estate, like she's decided probably Dominican Republic is a good place to set up there, and so now Leia's going to have to move to the Dominican Republic from Mexico, start a new life, meet new people, and do you think she has the personality for that? I really like Leah. You know, Leah and I were like, we always joked around with each other all the time. Oh, yeah. Leah and Kendra.
Yeah, Kendra too. Kendra.
Yeah, they're just fun girls. Like they always try to like push me, but I'd always have a response to them. So, do you think Leah will like be able to adapt instantly with her personality, or do you think she's somewhere in the middle?
I think she's more of like an introverted girl. But I think that this is gonna sound sexist, but it's much easier for girls to adapt like socially than guys. Because as a guy, you have to be like confident, skilled, and all of that.
So you're saying girls are a little bit more open to a new student rather than the guys?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, all right. I was gonna ask you something. How would you deal with moving to a different country and setting up? Imagine your parents said, "Right, tomorrow we're moving to France, and you're going to study there. But don't worry, they speak English." Do you think would that excite you? Would that scare you? Would you be somewhere in the middle? Would you go, "There's absolutely no way I'm moving to France. I'm not leaving here."
Actually, my mom pranked me one time and said that, "Oh, we're gonna move to like Bulgaria or someplace." I don't remember what the name was.
Europe, yeah.
As a joke, and I was like, "Yeah, okay, great." I genuinely believed her.
So Emilio's mum's from Bulgaria, isn't she?
Yeah, but I don't think my mom was talking about Bulgaria. It was someplace in Africa. I don't remember the name.
Okay, and you were just open to it. You were like, all right, let's go. You didn't get upset.
Well, she said they speak English, and I was like, yeah, I guess it's cool.
And how long ago was
Because
that?
I'm like 2 months ago.
Wow, that's a great practical joke. I never told you this. I've told the live stream a few times. Do you know what April Fool's Day is?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So I wasn't sure if April Fool's Day, is it universal that day?
I don't think it's actually universal. Like,
I'm
maybe
not
it's
sure.
just an American thing. I'm really not sure.
Okay, so when I was younger, I always said I was a really nice kid, but I was very cheeky. Do you know what cheeky means?
Yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah. I was always up to no good, like just trying to play jokes on people, but not where it was like really bad, but
Not harmful.
yeah, not harmful, but I would frustrate people. Yeah. So I always tell people this story, and I know my mum, she doesn't watch my live streams really. She's been on one, she likes what I do, but she don't have time to sit around watching my live streams. And it was April Fool's Day, and my mum, who's like an elite runner, she was taking a bath. She was upstairs taking a bath, and she said, "All right, Adam and John, like don't disturb me. Like I'm having a bath." We were like, "Okay, no problem." And I was like, "Right, I'm gonna disturb her, but how? How can I disturb her?" And I was like, "All right," just going off in my head, just the way I was like always up to no good with little things like that. I was like, I'm gonna tell her that the house is on fire. I'm gonna let her get comfortable in the bath, and I'm gonna tell her the house is on fire. And I ran up the stairs screaming because I can actually act. I can act pretty well. I should have probably got into it. I was like, "Mom!" She's like, "Adam, what? The house is on fire! Mom, get out!" Like that. I screamed like that. And I ran down the stairs. I remember I was in my pajamas, like, I don't know, some teenage Ninja Turtles pajamas. And she came running down the steps naked. And I went, "April Fool's Day, Mom." And she screamed at me. So yeah, I used to love, like, I used to do you know what knock a door run is?
Yeah.
I used to do that on my own house, my own door. I would knock on it and then run and hide behind the garden shed, and they somehow never figured out. And then they eventually did figure out, sorry, after doing it about 25 times, and they caught me. They caught me doing it, and my God, I got screamed at again. They said, "It's you all along, Adam." What? I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I just couldn't help myself." Like when you were a bit younger, were you ever a little bit mischievous, where you would do little silly things like that, or were you like a really like polite, respectful?
I like to do that, but I was pretty bad at it. Actually, I have a story about knock and run.
Go on, let me hear it. I love all that.
I was at this neighborhood with some friends. There was also this guy that wasn't really my friend.
Yeah. An acquaintance.
Yeah, and basically, no, he was like more like my enemy, right?
Okay.
He wanted to knock and run, but I really didn't have the balls to do it. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go knock and run. So then they all went back like super far away, and I then pretended that I knocked and run. So it was like,
so you pretended to knock and then you ran off. Genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah, so it was like I pranked the pranksters.
There you pranked the pranksters. There you go. There you go. No, I used to love all that stuff. Like, I'm not really proud of this one, but we used to get a dozen eggs. We got a dozen eggs from like Asda, and we would just egg people's windows and run off. We'd throw eggs. Like, it wouldn't smash the window or anything like that. We would just throw eggs. It was like a group of us. Then that thrill, like, again, you're throwing an egg at someone's window. It's not killing them. You're not doing any serious harm. But we thought at the time this was the most wildest thing. This was during, like, I don't know if this was during Jackass times and all those TV shows that promoted stupidity and stuff like that. But maybe that was going on. That thrill, Andre, that thrill of running off was a real like adrenaline rush. Obviously, I would never do those things now as a grown adult. I'm not going to knock on my next door neighbor's door and run off at 36 years old. But when I was younger, man, we used to egg people's houses. My house got egged a few times by, I think even my actual friends egged my house, which is pretty funny in itself.
Your friends egged your house?
Yeah, just for a bit of joke. It's like, they'll say stuff like, did you have eggs for breakfast today, Adam? I'm like, it was you, wasn't it, you prick? It was you. It was like, no, maybe. I'm like, all right, mate, let's go. Just see what happens to you. He's like, are you threatening me? I'm like, let's just see. Let's see if you're going to be having eggs tomorrow for your breakfast. And then boom, I'd go, if you threw one egg at my window, I'm throwing 5 at yours. Or I'm going to get multiple windows. That's how I used to work. But yeah, I won't keep talking about these stories. I don't want to promote doing these stupid things.
Wait a second. My uncle got expelled from his old school because he egged his math teacher's house.
Really? They expelled him from the school for something he did outside of school?
Yeah.
That's harsh,
Well,
man.
I remember, he got expelled.
Wow. It's hard to get expelled these days. It's hard. There's people that are suing schools. Their kids get excluded and they sue the school for unfair dismissal and stuff in the US. It's crazy what people sue people for now. Somebody's saying this Joey's going too far here, but I'll read it out. It said, lighting a flaming bag of dog turd outside someone's house, then knocking and running off is actually genius. Do you believe that is genius, Andre, or just outrageous?
But also, in a sense, no, it's not genius at all. It's just kind of stupid. Sorry, Joey.
I think it's dangerously hilarious.
It's just not clever enough. Unless, I know a way to make it genius. Say that neighbor, his dog shit in your backyard. Take that shit to his backyard and lay it on fire. It's revenge. It's
okay,
payback.
so it's just revenge.
That is genius.
Okay, that is pretty genius. But what about the flaming turd? I can't believe we're talking about this, but these are my live streams, Andre. Flaming turd. So you knock on the door, flaming turd, and then they walk out and step on the flaming turd, and then you've run off like a superhero. They've stood on it as well. Like their foot's on fire, turd all over the place, brand new white shoes, furious, and then they don't think about it. Somebody goes, who was that? You walk in the house, shit, I've just bought the shit on the carpet, the brand new cream carpet. That would be genius, in my opinion. That's like high level. But
your neighbor's dog shits in your backyard, shit in his backyard.
Yeah, well, no, okay. Yeah. Guys, we were just talking so much like motivational speeches and like how to grow, and now we're doing this. Thanks, Joey. Thank you, Joey, mate. Magic rope, never heard of that.
Joey, you're a legend.
Chris Holding says the number of cars that slammed on was crazy that we never got run over. Wow, I don't know what that is. Slammed on, like what, trying to run in front of a car? That's pretty intense. You know, you were talking about goals, Andre.
Yeah.
Have you heard of SMART goals?
Smart? No, what is that?
I studied them at college. SMART goal is where it's basically an acronym. So S means specific. Your goal's specific.
Mm-hmm.
M means measurable, that you can measure it. Like, for example, your weight, your height, whatever it is, you can your grades, you can measure them. And then there's achievable. Like, this is the A part and the R part's very similar. So A is achievable and R is realistic.
Realistic, yeah.
Sometimes you set these goals that are so outrageous and unrealistic that people might say, no, it's best to have these huge aspirations, like reach for the stars and touch the clouds, or whatever they say. But I agree that you want it to be realistic. Like you said, do 1 push-up, then 3, then 5. And then the T is the timely. Like, do you actually have the time in your day or your week to be able to achieve your goal. You know what I mean? If your goal is something that's going to be like, I've got to do, I don't know, if you want to become like the best basketball shooter at your school, but you're only like an average player, you're going to have to be training a lot harder than the better players, aren't you? So you're going to have to put in the work, the time, and all of that. So it's called SMART goals. You could do a video about that, about SMART goals.
Yeah. But the thing is, I kind of disagree on the thing that they should be like realistic. Have you ever read the book The Magic of Thinking Big?
No.
Okay, I haven't read it either, but I've heard many good things that basically when you think big, you kind of like force yourself to do more. And I don't really know the science, but there's a lot of benefits to like reaching for the stars to the greatest possible goal.
But how many people achieve that? I'm going to get my charger. We'll do like 10 more minutes. Let me get my charger. It's about to die. Wait a second on it. All right. Guys, I'm going to do about 10 or 15 more minutes because I'm meeting my friend Chris. Let me charge this. All right. Oh, what's going on with that light? Oh, but a shocker there. So listen, guys, I appreciate you tuning in and listening to Andre, and if you're subscribing to his channel, he's a great kid. You can tell he's very intelligent. He cares about people. He's a kid that you're not going to be able to like walk all over. He knows who he is, which is good. All right, what else have we got? What's Magic Rope, Chris? Never heard of Magic Rope. Skipping, by the way, skipping is one of the best workouts you can do. Chris said his dog's birthday is on Good Friday. 09, and also recent ex's birthday. The sinks are mad. I love the organic sinks. Thoughts of fear of the future are always worse than the reality. Amazing. Got to try and live in the present as often as you can, Lady Hawk. I know you do that. Easy, mate. Right, so before we wrap it up, mate, can you believe we spoke for 2.5 hours?
Yeah, I can believe that.
Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, wait, actually, want to finish talking about one topic that I wanted to talk about earlier?
Yeah.
It was like how I went from how I was like 2 years ago to how I am now, right?
Yeah.
So what I said earlier is that, I woke up at 5 a.m. to play video games for 2 hours before school started.
Yep.
Right? Before online school started. So what did I do to,
stop doing that?
Get out of the depth?
Yes.
So basically, I started my parents put me in this parkour class, and that was the first step because I started, exercising, 2 times a week. Not that often, but still exercise.
Were you doing nothing when you were playing? When you were doing video games, were you doing nothing with physical activity?
Yeah, I was literally doing nothing. Zero physical activity at all.
Okay.
Every so often I used to connect to the physical education class we had online. Then I found out.
Oh, how bad? Wait, how bad was that? The physical education online. How bad was that? What did they even do? What were you doing?
They just say drop down and do 10 push-ups, 10 jumping jacks. But it was at that time it was hard for me, but now I think it would be super easy.
You probably enjoy it. You probably let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
At that time, I hated it.
Oh yeah, and you didn't. Were your camera on? Couldn't anyone even see if you were doing it?
Well, sometimes when we had to do push-ups, since my camera was above my desk, I just sit on the floor.
Okay.
So yeah, not much exercise at all. Then I found out that you didn't even have to connect to that class, so I just stopped connecting.
So
yeah, I
if
started doing
you
parkour.
didn't have, because you have the gift of
Yeah.
amazing parents, in my opinion, from what I know of them, they're amazing.
Yes.
So if you
Yeah,
didn't
well-
have that influence in your life, because not everyone's gifted with great parents or whatever it may be, do you think right now you would still be sat on your ass playing video games if it weren't for your parents?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what I mean. So we take our parents for granted, I think.
Yeah, right now I would either be asleep or playing video games.
You'd be asleep like midday.
Yeah.
Wow, so big shout out to your parents. Did they force you into it? Did you fight them and say, "You can't tell me what to do"? Like, who do you think, did you fight them when they said you got to do this, or were you kind of like, maybe yeah, they're probably right?
Yeah, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it at all initially, but then like my parents were already like friendly with this parkour teacher, so I was like talking to him, and he was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then I did my first class, and I honestly I really liked it, even though I wasn't fit at all. I genuinely really enjoyed it, and yeah, so I started doing that.
So did you always go away? Did you always go away from the class feeling better about yourself at the end of it?
Yeah, honestly, it did.
Perfect.
I started because that kind of gave me. You see, in parkour, it's kind of different from other sports.
Okay.
To a certain level, if you believe you can do it, then you can do it.
If you believe it, you can achieve it. All that quote.
Yeah, in the first class, what we had to do was basically climb a wall with only one step. And it wasn't like a high wall, and it was slightly inclined.
Yeah.
But most people couldn't do it just because they didn't believe they could do it.
Yeah, amazing.
But I was able to. I was able to because I was like, you know what? It's all about belief, and I hit it. I got to the top almost.
Your brain, the way your brain operates, if you tell it that it can achieve it, more often than not every time, but more often than not, you will have more chance of achieving your goal if you tell yourself, I'm going to nail this. I've got this. And when you say, I'm going to lose, I'm going to fail, I'm going to mess up, you do. You do. So for example, if I have to give a speech, most people think about, what if I mispronounce a word? What if I say this wrong? What if I don't do that? What if I forget my lines? I don't think like that. I'm like, how can I make this better? I'm going to nail this. I'm going to make that person laugh. Then I'm going to do that. I don't think about failing. I think a lot of people go through life thinking about failing and not thinking about succeeding. Huge difference to me there.
Yeah, it's all about the power of belief. This is gonna play a part later on in the story. So okay. So a few months ago, I started doing parkour in January of last year.
Mm.
Then in May, I started going to my neighborhood gym with my dad. And he taught me how everything worked there and all that.
Yeah.
And I mainly just started going to get girls, and because almost everyone in my class was going to the gym, and I felt like, hey, I'm being left behind, so I've got to do better.
When did you start liking girls? Was that right now, the last 6 months? Because I was about your age, 14, 15, where I was like, wow, she's attractive. Wow, I like her, man. 12, 13, I didn't care about girls. There were girls saying, will you be my girlfriend? And I used to get upset. I was like, go away from me. I don't want a girlfriend. When I was about 15, I'm like, all right, oof, geez, wow.
No. I was never like that. I always wanted girls, since I was in kindergarten even.
Wow, I wasn't like that. It took me, I was a late bloomer, I guess.
I think I'm actually less focused on girls than I am now, but I hate it. I hate it when guys say, no, I don't do this for women. I don't go to the gym for women. Yet you do.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
It's a natural evolutionary thing to want reproduction. You can't stop it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's not something that you can just not focus on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I started going to the gym. That was pretty good, but I was still playing video games. Like the only good thing I was doing was the gym and parkour. So yeah, eventually, like by the end of that year, I started journaling. I would get like straight up just document everything that happened in my day. Just write about it. Write about it. Write
Do you do
about
that every day?
it. And like about yeah, I still do.
Okay. How is that?
Well, usually I write it. It's honestly, it's very enjoyable. Like
I've never
when,
done
like,
that.
not much happens in my day. It's kind of boring because just today was a good day and that's it. But yeah, it's also enjoyable to like look back on what I've written. I've been doing that for 6 months. No, like probably like 8 or 9 months by now.
Imagine you read, bro. Imagine you reading it back in like 15 years. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be
like if you were able to keep that discipline and continue this for 10, 15, 20 years and look back, wow, 15-year-old Andre, wow, what a journey I've gone on. That would be like sensational. It's just, again, when you become an adult, you start going, I don't have time to do this, to be writing this journal. I don't have time for that. I've got to be making money, got to focus on my kids. Maintain that if you can. I think that's a great idea. I wouldn't have had the discipline at 15.
Sadly, I probably won't be able to understand my handwriting. So that'll be the biggest challenge.
Okay. So when would you say that it flipped the switch for you of I'm not that young little shy kid anymore?
Okay, I'll continue with the story. So I started journaling, right?
Yeah.
Then I started learning more about like holistic self-improvement, and there was 2 important habits that were the best for like improving your mental health, which were meditation. You know what meditation is, of course.
Of course. Do you meditate?
And
do you do it though?
Yes, every day.
When? What time of the day?
Meditation. Like 8:30. I was meditating before I entered the call with you.
Okay. And what's the other one?
And gratitude journaling, which is basically just writing down things that you're grateful for.
That is amazing. Again, don't we so often think about all the things we don't have and don't focus on what we do have?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that these 2 things are like the 2 biggest cures for mental illness, because the 2 like most common mental illnesses in the world are depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
Gratitude journaling is like the solution for depression because it makes you more grateful and happy for what you have.
Lady Hawk said
Yeah.
said journaling can help highlight good and bad patterns in your life.
Yeah. You can tell like when you're in a rut, when you're in a bad situation, and then you can easily take action and realize why it's going on.
Yeah.
So you've got to journal in detail.
Yeah, that's undeniable, I would say. Like, do you have a certain time in the day when you do it? Is it just when you wake up? Do you wake up and go, okay, do you like have goals for the day? This is what I'm going to achieve today. Or do you just write it right before you go to bed? Today, I did this. This were the highlights. I went live with Mr. Adam, the Illusion, and we discussed this and it increased my confidence. And I've gone from 19 to 25 subs. And now I'm going to be like, right, by the end of July, I want to get 50. How am I going to get 50 subs? Maybe I go on his show again one more time and discuss this. And I don't know. So do you ever do that where do you ever write down goals, or do you just write what's happened in your day?
Look, I have goals. I have like my practical goals that I want to achieve literally taped on my door, so that every day when I wake up, like it's there right in front of me.
Okay. Yeah. That's good.
And there's like big goals broken down into progressively smaller ones. So it's for the 4 pillars too. So for my physical health, like my final goal is to have like a 10 out of 10 aesthetic body. Mental health is to have like true happiness. Finance to, you know, be financially free.
Yeah.
And social skills to have like a good group of genuine people that support me, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like, it's broken down into smaller ones. So say for the physical health, one of my goals would be a muscle up. You know what a muscle up is?
No.
Where you pull yourself up like over a pull-up bar and then push so your hips are over the bar.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm really good at chin-ups. I'm going to set up one up in my apartment, but I don't think I've done that. I don't think I've gone that high.
Yeah, it's not just like a pulling thing. You also have to like transition between it and push and all that.
Yeah, well, that needs a lot of focus. That needs a lot of focus, doesn't it?
Yeah, mind-muscle connection.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I was talking about my journey, right?
Yeah.
So I started doing meditation and gratitude journaling, and those were huge, huge changes. Like, straight up, it's sad. It's sad how people can literally halve their depression and anxiety in 2 weeks with just doing these 2 things.
Mate, this is amazing. Like, I keep going. But again, it might not be the same for everybody else, but there's nothing negative about like writing down how your day's going and your goals and stuff. I don't see any negative to that.
Like you're not just gonna have perfect mental health with
nobody does, but nobody in the world will ever have perfect mental health. Nobody. We're not supposed to.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not supposed to. But yeah, okay, wow.
You can vastly improve it just with these things because most people don't do anything for their mental health. They don't. At most, they do therapy or something.
And that's not often helping themselves. It's somebody else helping them. You know what I mean? They're not actually helping themselves. But we won't talk too much about that. But that's the journal aspect of it is. Did you read that in a book? Did a friend tell you about it? Did you come across it on the internet? Did you just do it yourself with the journal?
Honestly, I'm not completely sure. I think I saw some videos on like self-improvement that were talking about journaling.
Yeah.
But I didn't know exactly like how I should be journaling and all that. So it was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep a journal, and that's it. I just started it.
That's great. I'm just gonna say, Gabrielle, guys. Gabrielle's in the chat. This is the guy who's put together my website. One of the most kind-hearted people I've ever come across. He's in the comments.
Yeah.
Gabrielle, the guy I'm doing the live with, Andre, his dad might contact you about setting up a website. So. Andre, do you want to just say hi to Gabrielle? He's in the chat. This guy's really nice, Gabrielle. Say hi.
What's up, Gabrielle?
What's up, Gabrielle?
I've heard Adam saying that you're great at making websites. And I'm very interested in your service.
He said sounds good. He said sounds good. So, Gabrielle, what I'll do, Gabrielle, do you mind? Bro. Do you mind if I give Andre your number to contact you? Would that work, Gabrielle? Or email or whatever, and then maybe his dad contacts you and you can figure something out with that website. Because the website, Andre, will really help you. Like with everything being online now, there's only so much word of mouth. Like you want to be going, here's the website, here's where you go, here's where you can purchase this, that, and the other. And do you these shoes and stuff? Do you deliver them, or do they have to come to your dad's house and pick them up? Is there a store?
I think he has other people like delivering them.
Okay. So you just basically contact them, pay online, give them your address, and then they will get to your house within, I don't know, 2 days or whatever, or a day. Maybe.
I think it's a pretty fast service.
Yeah, it probably will be if you already have it there and it's local. But is your dad looking to sell like globally, or is he wanting to sell all around Mexico, or just in this state?
I think globally, but he's also concentrating more on Mexico, especially here because he was selling to this guy. Well, he's about to sell to a guy in Hawaii. Like, that is the point where the business is really going to blow up.
So Gabriel said this. I think you mentioned this. Because Gabriel with this stuff, I know he would go, no, I'm not, but he's like a genius at this. He said, sounds like he needs some e-commerce site.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
That's what he's saying. So again, I'm pretty horrific when it comes to technology. And can you confirm this? I don't know if you know this. I'm not sure if you know this, but you know Diego, of course. I won't say his last name. Do you know that it was him who did my intro?
Yeah, I know.
And that was all him, wasn't it? Like, I didn't ask, hey, can you do me this? And can you make it look like that? He went, give me like a few days, I'll do an intro. Because the students, like, a few of you started to figure out I had a channel. And when I was at the school at the beginning, I had like no following. I had a few hundred people. And I do recall this, and you can be honest here. I have no problem. It's fine. I would have been the same. There was definitely a stage when I was the illusion, and basically my view on a lot of things changed. How many, and you can be really honest here, how many of the kids thought, what's happened to Mr. Adam?
How many like asked that?
Where people were going, wait, the illusion, why is he talking about this stuff? I didn't know Mr. Adam knew all this about numbers and conspiracies. And is he losing his mind? Is he having a breakdown? Like, or did people not even really notice?
It surprised me that there's still people in my class that don't even know that you have a YouTube channel.
I kind of like that, weirdly. But so
I thought that everyone, like, even though you were actually talking about that, like, in class.
Yeah, I would, but like not by design. Like sometimes people would ask me about it, or it'd be connected to the class that I was teaching. But yeah, like I felt like a few kids thought I was going crazy. Other kids loved it.
Yeah, Emilio thinks you're going crazy, but I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. No,
all of the evidence that you've provided here, it's hard not to believe what you're saying.
Yeah, I appreciate that. A lot of people are saying that now. Like they thought I was crazy, and now they realize that they say there's a fine line between crazy and genius or something. I'm not a genius, but when you play around with the stuff I talk about, like you're gonna get called crazy. I have to accept I'm gonna get called nuts with what I say, and it's fine because I know I'm not. You know what I mean? It's that being comfortable in your own skin. So if somebody says I'm crazy and nuts, it's like I kind of laugh. It'd be like somebody calling me fat. You're fat. It's like that when they call me crazy and nuts and this. It's like you may as well have just called me fat. That's how ridiculous that comment is to me now. But Mr. Adam E, listen because I just like red blondes.
Yeah.
So yeah, all right. I thought maybe a few of you would have thought, well, what's happened to him? But no, I didn't really change my teaching style that much. But thankfully, when I was going through my awakening, it was pretty much online, wasn't it? We were all online. So I was teaching you from the classroom. It wasn't like as much face to face, but for me, mate, like
you had more free time.
Yeah, it was in many ways, teaching online was so easy. And in many ways it was incredibly difficult. I'm sure it was the same being a student. It was so easy, but also really difficult to be motivated. I had to grade online. Like when I was teaching in the classroom, I'd come round, I'd check your book, I'd give you my little signature just to see, okay, he's done enough work here to justify him going to recess or whatever. Whereas Google Classroom, you literally had to grade every single task like in depth. And I was having 4 or 5 classes a day, 30 kids in a class, 25 kids. I'm like, this is just painful. And
so you had less time?
I had to do way more work, I would say, online. But the actual teaching side of it, it's like I could be sat there with my shoes off, just chilling, AC on, not really having to deal with, hey, make sure you're working. I'd occasionally, you basically teaching online. You give out the instructions every like 10 minutes. You're like, all right, guys, does anyone need help? Everyone would say, no, I'm good, Mr. Adam. Thank you. I don't know if you're cheating, if you're doing this, you're doing whatever you want to do. I always gave you that, like, it's your education. If you want to cheat. Like, at the end of the day, it's you. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like that. You go through life. I would say, you want your parents paying all this money for you to go to this prestigious school, and you're just going to steal people's work, do it and see what happens to you. I don't mind. And most people, I think, did their actual work. Like, I could tell it was their work and they didn't cheat. So teaching was so easy online because of that. But the grading was horrific. Like, so much grading. And then you had the
Why did you
internet.
have to grade it so differently?
Because they made you
What's the
grade. They
difference?
made you grade after every class on Google Classroom, and you had to give a grade for every class, for every task. You had to grade. Whereas in the classroom,
God.
I could just come round and sign your book. I didn't have to give you an 8, a 9, a 10, a 7, and do all of that. And we'd give you a grade at the end of the trimester, won't we? Saying like, this grade for classwork, this grade for homework, this grade for the PBL, like the project-based learning, whatever it was, and you do it that way. But online, I had to grade every single task. It was frustrating, and a lot of kids would just not do them. Whereas in the classroom, I felt like every kid would at least do some work online. I'm pretty sure some kids, they just came and they went, okay, I'm here, I'm on my video game right now, and I'm not doing this task. And was it true that the Mexican government said nobody could fail online?
Yeah, it's true.
And then it all came out to the students that they couldn't fail. And I was like, this is going to make our life a million times harder. You can't fail as long as you attend the classes online. It's like, wow. So then my mindset changed. I was like, I'm just going to try and make my classes fun, where kids want to be there. Not there because they have to be there, because they want to be there. And I was a bit more relaxed then with the activities and had you think about a load of stuff. There was that stage, Andre, where I was giving you tasks that really made you think, and you're probably thinking, is that in the curriculum? I was making you really think. And someone like you probably liked that. Many other kids probably didn't. But
yeah, like what we currently have, what we had in English class, it's much different from what you were teaching us. Like we were literally just watching like Romeo and Juliet play adaptations.
Which Romeo and Juliet is about suicide and death.
Yeah.
It's not as beautiful as people think it is, that story of Romeo and Juliet at all. You have a 17-year-old dating a 13-year-old as well. Romeo was 17, she was 13.
Yeah. And they literally met. It's not like a long romance. They met 5 days before they killed themselves for each other.
Yeah, 6 people died in Romeo and Juliet. 6 people died because of their relationship.
No, much more than 6.
Well, I think 6 main characters died then.
Romeo, Juliet, Tybalt, Mercutio, Benvolio,
Lady
Juliet,
Montague. I think Lady Montague died.
Yeah. Romeo's mom. That's 7.
I thought it was 6, but we'll have to check it. I thought it was 6, but anyway, a lot of people died for 2 teenagers to lust after each other. They wasn't in love, like, at all. They just lusted after each other. They were attracted to each other. Hormones are everywhere, and then they take their own lives. It's like I was like, oh my God, what am I actually teaching these kids here? It's literal teenage suicide, and basically not getting what you want. So you don't get what you want, so you'll kill yourself. I didn't like it. I don't like Romeo and Juliet. I never really have, but I had to teach it every year. It started to piss me off. I had to teach you about Martin Luther King every other year. That started to wind me up. But yeah.
Were you were obligated to teach that?
Yeah. Well, in one of the grades, maybe it was 9th grade, it was called The Literature of Civil Rights. So I had to teach them it was all about Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement, the letter from Birmingham jail. And I'm like, something hit me where I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm like, everywhere in the world, they're learning about this same people. There's a reason why everywhere you go, you learn Shakespeare, whatever country. Martin Luther King's amazing. Everywhere you go in the world, you learn about him. And I was done with it. I was like, this is programming for me. That's when I was like, I'm going to create my own classes. And if it gets me in trouble, I don't care. in my opinion. So that's kind of what I did. And there was a few times I said, hey, like I got the highest. Do you know I got the highest review out of all the teachers at the school? I think I got 94%, 93 or 94% from student feedback from.
You were everyone's favorite teacher.
Maybe not everybody. I won't say everybody. Like, for example, Emiliano probably won't say that.
No, he didn't.
So he didn't like me, but again, he didn't like me, but he also really didn't like English, did he? So that's the big saying it. Sometimes you don't like your teacher because you don't like the subject or you don't understand the subject. It's not even so much the teacher, but I got all these good reviews, but the only time I got in trouble was, hey, Adam, you're not teaching the curriculum. Like, you're not going with your annual plan. I'm like, yeah, because it's so repetitive. And I said, ask the kids what they prefer. Is that not what it's about? Is it not about the kids and their learning and how much they're learning? I was like, they're all nailing their exams. They're all passing, like, I'd say like 80%. Like, what I'm doing is working, but you're not completely following the curriculum. You didn't teach them about this bit with Martin Luther King or Mother Teresa. I'm like, I didn't want to. It's boring, mate. Like, so that was the only time I ever really got in trouble by not following the exact, the Rockefeller curriculum, basically. Let me just check if Djokovic won, because I've got him to win Wimbledon, and he was winning. Okay, he won. And Nadal's gone. Guys, I said, was it my last live or the one before? I said, I really don't see Djokovic Nadal Wimbledon final. I don't see that happening. I don't think they'll repeat Djokovic Nadal, and I've just seen Nadal's not in the final. So it's looking like Djokovic. It's looking like Djokovic, like I said. But again, he was a big favorite. Right, mate, I've got 5 more minutes. Bro, we've done 3 hours and 5 minutes. You've been unbelievable, lad. Like, really impressed. There's no way I could have done what you've done at age 15. Not a chance. And I know you're at a point here where you could talk for 24 hours probably and still give engaging information out there. Did you ever read the book Animal Farm by George Orwell?
No, but you told me about it before.
Yeah, okay. So I had to teach that to, I think it was 10th grade. That's actually a really interesting book. Have you heard of Orwell and his book 1984?
Yeah, of course.
Right, you should check those books out. There's a lot of predictive programming there, but they're very interesting. Like, basically foreshadowed what's happening right now, and they came out decades ago. But Animal Farm's a fantastic book. It's one of my favorites. I've got it over there by my books. I've got Animal Farm still. It's fantastic. It's basically how humans own a farm and humans exploit the animals, don't they? They profit from the animals. The animals do all this heavy lifting, then you sell them for either food or whatever it may be. And then the animals all got together and they were like, we need to take out these humans. And we're not having this anymore. We're getting used. We're getting used and abused, and we're going to take over the farm and we're going to get rid of the humans. And eventually they did. And then the pigs became the leaders. They were like, we need a leader. We don't have humans now, but we do need leaders. And they all decided to choose the pigs because they're very intelligent. And then the pigs became worse than the humans. So it all went to their head with the pigs. And then all the animals were getting more abused than they were before. And it's just an incredible story. It's like, there's a horse, I forgot his name, amazing character from the book, The Horse. And he did all the heavy lifting. He was like, all the animals loved him, but he would always get abused. But he was like, like you said with Mexican workers, they kind of get abused, don't they? But they work harder than everyone. They get like $5 a day working in the sun for 8 hours, doing heavy lifting. Like, they get next to nothing. And there was a character, the horse, man. And it really made me think that there's so many people in the world that just work their ass off so hard, harder than the average person. And financially or whatever it is, they don't get really any recognition for doing it. It's an amazing book, mate. These pigs, like, I think the pig was called Napoleon. which obviously you know about the actual Napoleon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pig
Actually,
was called Napoleon.
I want to make like a video on that topic. That basically the horse, he's not getting any success. He's the hard worker, but he's not winning the game, right?
Yeah.
What I want to make a video on is how the person who's kind to others and is the quote-unquote hero, he's never the one that's actually winning the game and being successful unless he's actually doing some other methods to get himself to the top.
100%. Yeah, I call them rituals. They do all sorts of rituals to work their way up the ladder to get to the top. You can't just get there through talent. At the very top. I don't believe that. Like for someone like you, who's a real genuine guy, really intelligent guy, hardworking, you will, in my opinion, be successful in everything you said. Your mental health, your physical, your financial. I do believe you will be very comfortable. But you aren't going to be Tony Robbins.
Thiago's here.
What?
Thiago is literally here.
In your house?
Thiago's in the chat. No, in the chat.
He is? Where is he?
Yeah, he's here. Look.
Is that Tiaginkis?
Yeah, that's him.
Wow, guys, we were talking about Thiago, saying what a great kid he is, and he can answer our question, I guess. Thiago, hey, bro, how you doing, mate? I always really liked you. You smile, you were funny, you were outgoing, very intelligent as well. Thank you, Red. Listen, Thiago, how many schools have you attended? Because I know you've lived all over the world. How many schools have you attended? I'm glad you're fine. How many have you gone to? More than 10? 8. It's 8, Andre, so you were right. It's 8. That's still a lot, isn't it? And how old is he? 14? 13? 15?
No, he's older than me. He's 15.
All right, 15 and...
Well, he's my age, but he's gonna turn 16 soon.
15 and he's attended 8 schools. 15-8, like the Society of Jesus were founded by the Catholic Church the 15th of August, 15-8. Wow. So, Thiago, where are you now? Is he in Cabo? Oh, Mexico?
No, Cancun.
Cancun. Oh, okay. That was the first place that I ever visited in Mexico, Cancun. Indiglo Child, yes, I will decode scripture. I will be doing a live stream decoding the Bible and Revelation and the Book of Enoch. I will be doing all of that. So be patient with that. And I've told you guys, the people who've signed onto my website, I will be doing sports decode starting next week for you. So if you're thinking, why aren't you doing sports decode yet? It's going to be next week when I know the platform's really good to go. Somebody said 1984 and Fahrenheit 451 were good books. I completely agree with you. No doubt. You can't beat a good book. All those books we read in American schools are boring. I disagree. I think a lot of them are boring. Can you remember a book that you read at school, Andre, that you really enjoyed?
I remember that we read Wonder in your class.
Oh, how good was that?
I think it was pretty cool, but it was kind of like, it was kind of simple, pretty simple.
But don't you think simplicity is beautiful? Simplicity is sometimes the best. What was Wonder?
Yeah,
What Wonder? You had a kid. You had a kid who was homeschooled because he had a condition, a physical condition. It wasn't his mental condition. He was very intelligent. It was his physical disability, wasn't it? His face in particular.
Yeah.
And
like extremely ugly.
Yeah, extremely ugly. They actually made him not that ugly in the movie, to be honest, because they turned it into a movie like all the successful books. But it was R.J. Palacios, I think, was the author. And in that book, they homeschooled him. They basically hid him away from society, didn't they? Thinking that was actually for the betterment of the child, so he didn't get bullied. And then eventually, what grade was he? 4th grade, 5th grade, or something?
No, 6th.
Was it 6th grade? Good call. Yeah, I probably did that in a comprehension check. 6th grade, he eventually goes to this school. It was a public school, wasn't it? So you had a range of kids there. It wasn't a private school or anything, a public school. And he got really aggressively bullied at the beginning. and then he eventually got a few really close friends. And by the end of it, everybody wants to be him. Which you knew the ending was going to basically be amazing, emotional, that he became to the top of the ladder. He's called was he called August or Augie or something?
Yeah, August. But I don't think you described the story that well. Like at the start,
Yeah, go for it.
Bullied. He wasn't really bullied. He was just like kind of socially shunned.
No, I think when he went into school, when he went to school and they all saw him, he was getting hammered at the beginning. There was one kid in particular that was the school bully, and he got hammered by him. I forgot his name, but then that kid got kicked out of school. He moved to another school or something, and then I don't know. He got the last laugh, Augie. But no, at the beginning, Augie was like, they'd whisper, "Who's this guy?" They wouldn't hang out with him. He couldn't sit with them at the table or anything when they were dining. He got bullied at the beginning, no doubt.
Yeah.
But he overcame it. How did he overcome it?
Basically, he didn't really overcome it. Like, honestly, the ending was kind of half-assed.
Yeah, it was. The graduation won it.
Yeah, like in the graduation, they gave him like a special prize because he was the special kid, right? He's very special, guys.
Yeah, that's why you call it special needs and stuff as well. And
then he had like this monologue about how everyone has like that one person that they couldn't imagine what it's like being.
Yeah.
And like he knows that he is that to many people. And that's why he got like that prize. But honestly, like that's not really an accomplishment. It's just like people just pity you.
Yeah, I know. It was one of those. It was one of them where it got so much because it was based on a true story, wasn't it?
No, it's not.
It is. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I thought she was inspired when she saw her kid, who encountered a little girl. Didn't RJ Palacio? When she encountered basically a little girl who had this facial disorder. It was a girl, and obviously Augie was a boy, but she came across this girl, this young child, who had this deformity, and then that's what led her to write the book Wonder. That's what I remember.
Oh yeah, it is. It is based on a true story.
It kind of is and kind of isn't, because it's not like she met Augie, who went to that school, but she came across a child who had this facial disorder, and that's what made her think, all right then. That's where it came about, from what I recall, because it was a while ago. I always remember the book was blue. It was blue and it had an eye. It had an eye in the middle, didn't it? I think.
Yeah, actually, I remember that my dad met like the actor of August from the movie.
Yeah. But I know Owen Wilson was in that movie, and I think Julia Roberts were the parents of Augie. They're big-time actors, so they must have spent a lot of money on that movie.
I don't know anything about actors.
Well, Owen Wilson and Julia Roberts are like A-list actors, so they must have invested a lot of money in the movie to hire those people. But I watched it. I thought the book was 10 times better than the movie. Do you agree that most of the time the book's better than the movie, and the movie's half-assed?
It's always better than the movie. So
you don't have one guy. I'm going to ask people in the chat before I go, guys. Is there any book you've read where they turned it into a movie and the movie was better than the book, in your opinion? Before I go, I'll say that again. Is there anybody who's read a book that they loved, but then they turned it into a movie, and you actually found the movie more enjoyable than the book? For me, it's never happened. It's never happened once with me. People might say The Hunger Games or something like that, or Harry Potter. I don't know. I'm intrigued to see what people say.
I've actually only watched the Hunger Games movie. I've never read the book.
I've done both. There's a trilogy now, isn't there, with Hunger Games?
Yeah.
I've read them. I've read all of the books. Mockingbird. I can't remember the other one, but yeah. Shawshank Redemption. Great call. Have you seen that movie, Andre? I think it's from the 80s. Shawshank Redemption is one of the greatest movies ever made, ever. So I definitely recommend you watch that movie. It is incredible movie. Somebody saying Psycho, Top G. I'm not sure what Top G is. So yeah, Andre, just before we finish, it was so amazing. Tiago came in and we were talking about him. I love things like that. So
yeah, it's because I sent the link in the group chat, and he's there.
Okay, people are saying what you said, that all the books are better. It's a better form of media. I think the good thing with books, you can use your imagination a lot more than watching a movie. When you watch a movie, it's there. It's all done for you. There's no creative thinking on your end. You're just the observer, aren't you? When you read in a book, your imagination, you can bring that character to life in your head. Like, I didn't see Oggy the way he was in the movie. I saw him really deformed, like, hey, you guys from the Goonies, Sloth. I really got this image in my head that he looked. Google Sloth, Andre, if you, not the animal. It was a cat. Sloth the Goonies. Put Sloth the Goonies. It's a movie from the 80s. Yeah, and I thought it was going to look so bad, and then in the movie it was just like, it don't look that bad at all. Like, to get absolutely bullied and stay at home and be an outcast in society. So I like books for the fact that you can really use your imagination, and in a movie you are purely the observer. You can predict what's going to happen next and all of that, but again, that's hard when you've read the book already and you kind of know where the story's going, even though they tweak it sometimes, don't they? They often tweak the movie with the book. They don't follow it exactly.
Actually, I remember the scene that was different between Wonder the book and Wonder the movie.
What was it?
You know, in the book,
that
there's August has his best friend, right? This guy that he just gets along with really well.
Yeah, because when he sat down, nobody would eat with him, and then that one kid was like, "Hey, Oggy, you can sit with me." Was it Jack?
Yeah, I think it was Jack. I don't remember who it was exactly, but they got into a fight, but then they got into a reconciliation through text.
Yeah. Basically, there was Jack. I remember Jack. I know the bully was called Julian, and then there was Summer.
Yeah.
And Summer was kind of nice to him, but not. And then by the end, she loved him, and they had this great relationship. And wasn't Oggy's sister really protective of Oggy? I think Olivia. So. I think Olivia or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Olivia. That was her name.
Yeah, and she was really protective, but also embarrassed of Oggy. And then at the end, she was proud that Oggy was a brother. But at the beginning, she was kind of like, "Oh my God, everything's about Oggy." It would have been hard for Olivia, wouldn't it? Where all the parents were so focused on August that they ignored her. Do you remember that? They completely ignored her. She was going through puberty. She was a teenager. It's it's all about the kid with the facial disability, and nobody even cared about her, it seemed, or at least gave her attention. I'm sure they cared about her.
Yeah, I remember that she had this monologue saying that August was the sun.
Yeah.
And she and her parents were planets.
Yeah.
And their dog was the moon.
Yeah. Good memory. You got a better memory than me, or close.
No, definitely not. I don't think so.
But this is good, though, that this is what I'm saying. I presented that book to you. You enjoyed it. And now we can discuss it. And we can give our opinions about it. We can, I like the character development where, all right, guys, tell me what you think about this character. You're all going to give me a different answer. Not, how does the movie end? What is the name of Oggy's mum? Who cares? Describe her parenting skills. Give me your opinion about that. I don't give a shit how old she is or what her name is, and if you can memorize what her name was. You know what I mean? How would you have felt? How would you have felt if you was Oggy and you got put in a public school after being homeschooled? That's the type of questions I like to ask, where every kid could give me a different answer. Somebody's asking me, do I think England's expensive? It's incredibly expensive. Anywhere in the world, there's places that you can get by and not spend that much money. But on average, England is incredibly expensive. It's one of the most expensive places in the world. especially like London.
Actually, Adam, do you remember Out of My Mind?
Out of My Mind, yeah, brilliant. Well, you hated it, didn't you? Didn't you say that?
I hated that book. I hated it.
So that was the kid. Was that the kid who was insanely intelligent but couldn't speak?
No, I think. Are you thinking about Rules?
There was one book.
I know. Yeah. It's Out of My Mind. With the girl that's like in the wheelchair.
The girl who's in a wheelchair, she can't speak, but she's a genius, but she can't express a genius. So then she goes, like, she gets babied. Everybody babies her, but she's actually smarter than them. But she can't tell them. She can't show it. But she's like, oh my God, are they really having me count to 10? When in her head, she can probably like recite pi in her head. I don't know why you hated that so much. I actually thought the idea behind it was pretty. You hated it.
I hated that ending.
Yeah, you did. But did you hate the whole book or just the ending?
Mostly the ending. But like looking back, there was some really good scenes in that book. Like the whole concept of her being smarter than them was pretty good. Also being put in like the sped class.
Yeah.
With all the dumb, they're not to say dumb, special children.
Yeah.
That she was like super smart, right?
Like beyond smart. She was smarter than the teachers. Yeah. That she was smart, and she was really young, but she was a genius. But she was like disabled, wasn't she? Like completely couldn't speak, couldn't walk, couldn't do anything like that. So it's the whole thing of judging a book by its cover. Like, again, the power of the mind that goes unnoticed most of the time. Her mind was insane, but she couldn't express it. Imagine how awful that must be. Where you've got all this stuff to say and all this knowledge and you can't share it. And then people think you're like completely useless. That's how she was seen, as useless.
Yeah, but the thing is, what I hated about the book was two things.
Go on.
Ending. Yeah, the ending.
Yeah.
And it was just chock full of plot devices.
Yeah, the ending was a big letdown. I think I asked you this. How would you have changed the ending? I always say if you complain about anything in life, how are you going to make it better instead of just bitching? How would you have made it better is what I say. Fine, complain at what I said. Tell me a better way of looking at it.
What I did in class one time was that I wrote like a continuation to that ending, which cleared up some like stuff that happened.
Go on.
And it was kind of a weird continuation because there was this one scene where they were like going to a restaurant to celebrate like their success in the tournament or whatever.
Yeah.
And this girl just suddenly got sick and was like vomiting.
Mm.
And that just like came out of nowhere. It was literally just a plot device.
Yeah, just for the sake of it. Yeah, it's like redundant with words. Redundant. You have words in there that don't need to be there. You know what I mean? Have you heard of that?
No, it wasn't redundant because that caused that. You know, there was like backups in the team.
Yeah.
Since this girl was vomiting, then the other girl had to be like the backup in that tournament and had to do the work instead, and that was an advance to the plot.
Do you think there was too many characters? Too many characters?
No, honestly, there was a good amount. But she literally just got sick for the sake of the plot, to advance the plot. So what I wrote in the continuation was that the girl that was the backup poisoned this girl so that she could take the glory.
Yeah, you added a psychological element to it, like a reason behind it. It wasn't, oh, she just got sick. It was like, no, this girl was so desperate, so disappointed that she didn't get that lead role or whatever, she was going to do anything, and she poisoned her. That would have made it way better, yeah.
Yeah, which was kind of crazy because this was these girls were like in 5th grade probably.
Yeah. Well, I used to like to do that. I don't know if I ever did it with your class. Maybe it was with the older ones. But I would say, I want you to rewrite the ending of the book. Like, so we've all read the book. Everyone's read the book,
Yeah.
whatever the book is. Say it was Wonder, right? And then, all right, guy, sometimes I'd give a word count. Often I wouldn't. Or I'd usually say between this amount of words, which was good. I say, I want you to rewrite an ending to that book. And kids love that, the older kids. So they'd come up with a completely different ending. I don't know, maybe somebody would die, maybe they didn't get married, maybe he turned down the job instead of accepted it and did this. I think that's a pretty cool way of being creative. Creative writing is really good. Like, rewrite the ending or add a few characters, like whatever it may be. Would you like to do that where you had to rewrite an ending? Would that be interesting to you?
Yeah.
I think it makes you think, doesn't it?
An interesting task.
Yeah, and then everybody will probably have a different answer to it. I just love doing activities where I wasn't getting the same, like with math, right? I love Pedro so much, and I love numbers, as you know.
Yeah.
Like with him, most of the time, he will grade the work, and every answer is the same. Like your classic, like, I don't know, let's keep it simple. 7 times 7 is 49. Check. And I know he was very creative, Pedro, and the math teachers, but in general, the work he was grading just had one answer. It's why a lot of people like math. It's like you can't argue with it. Whereas I had a bit more like fluidity with my work where I could be more creative with, okay, do this, and everyone would give me a different answer other than those bullshit comprehension checks, which were fine to do occasionally, just not every other day or every day in many times. So
actually with Pedro it was a bit different because he would like make us solve like logical problems that weren't just simply math related.
No, Pedro's amazing guy, amazing teacher. Yeah. So these logical equations, we'll call them, was it always the same answer, or was there multiple ways, multiple different answers, or did you always get to the same answer?
It's usually always the same answer, but there's different methods.
Oh, okay, perfect. I love that. All right, if there's different methods to get the answer, then that's great. It's not just 2 times 2 is 4. Like, that's great. There's multiple methods to get to the same answer. It's like a destination, isn't it? Like, there's multiple journeys you can do to get to that destination. Example? Go on.
For example, there was this one problem where we basically just had to find the sum of every number from 1 to 100. This is like a common problem, right?
Yeah.
How do you do that? So basically, you can do this in 2 ways. Either just add them all up, or you can do this other thing where you realize that 1 plus 100 is 101, right?
26. Do you know that's a 26 prime number, though?
No, I didn't know that.
Did they ever teach you about prime numbers or the Fibonacci sequence or triangular numbers?
Yes. Yeah.
But
triangular numbers, no, but...
Can you tell me the triangular number for, I don't know, 21?
I don't know what a triangular number is. Maybe if you said what that is in Spanish, I would understand, because...
Numero triangular. Like, you don't need to know that. We never really got taught it all, but I study all of that. Like 21's a 6 triangular number. I just know that. But so yeah. So what were you saying? So 100 plus 1 is 101. And what do you mean by that? And then you go. 100.
Okay, so then 2 plus 98 is also 101.
3 plus 97
is 101. So yeah, so basically, like, there's different pairs in 1 to 100 that all add up to 101 when you're starting with the smallest and biggest.
Yeah.
So you just multiply 101 by 50 because there's 50 pairs.
Yeah.
And you get 5,050.
Okay. And there's multiple
So
ways of
that's-
getting that answer, or is it just?
It's those two methods, but you've got to like figure it out on your own.
All right. Okay, I get that. That's fine. I get
Like
that.
personally, I was one of the kids that wasn't smart enough mathematically, and I just added 1 to 100 manually.
And by doing that, how does that help you in your life? Is it just critical thinking skills, logical concentration? How does that benefit you by learning that?
Logical. Like you learn to be a problem solver, learn to
I agree.
just do things for yourself, take responsibility.
And focus. And you got to focus. One slip, one moment of not concentrating. It's like, oh, geez. So yeah, I agree. Problem solving is huge because you're gonna throughout your whole life you're gonna be solving problems, finding solutions. It's like part of your life. So yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Right, before I go, because I was supposed to meet my friend 20 minutes ago. So I'm running late. I'll give him a call. Before I go, is there anything you want to say to anybody? Like, you can plug your page again, I'm sure, because there's new people. A lot more people are listening. If you come back and check the live in like 2 days, Andreas, there'll be at least 600-700 people that have heard this. So imagine if 10% of them sub to you. That's like 70.
Wow.
It'd be amazing, but you never know. We'll see.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
But is there? Oh my God! Right now, there's 19 alive, 33 likes. 1933 is when Adolf Hitler became Chancellor of Germany. 1933. So, is there anything you want to say just before we go? Because then I've got to get off in like the next 2 minutes. Whatever you want to say.
Okay, so everyone watching, here's my YouTube channel. Here's my link. It's a self-improvement YouTube channel. I highly recommend that you watch these videos.
I do as well.
They're honestly life-changing. But if I get to 25 subscribers today, I will upload a video of me breakdancing.
And can you please just confirm?
Please
just confirm that you have no idea how to breakdance.
I have zero idea how to breakdance. I've never breakdanced before. I'm an absolute idiot when it comes to that. It's not.
Well, you don't know if you've never done it before. You might be a natural. If you've never done it, you might be spinning on your head,
who
mate.
knows? I might be like spinning on my head and stuff. But
well, we'll see. Again, I always say this. Like that's why you should attempt to do as many things as you can, because there's always that hidden talent that you have that a lot of people never know they have because they've never attempted to do it. You know what I mean? You might end up becoming.
Yeah.
You might go, whoa! Did I just spin on my head like instantly? Okay, boom. Maybe this is what my gift is: breakdancing.
Yeah,
so that's why I always try new
things.
things.
Two things.
Yeah.
For me, that was parkour and bowling.
Bowling. I'd love to give you a game of bowling, mate. Like, is there a bowling alley at the Hard Rock, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so.
I'd love to give you a game of bowling, mate. 10-pin bowling for another 10.
I've only played bowling 2 or 3 times, but like I was doing surprisingly good, like better than average.
I bet you love those bowling shoes, don't you? Do you wear them on a night out? Those bowling shoes?
No.
Clown shoes. I used to hate that. I'd go on dates with girls wearing those big ass clown shoes bowling. Killed me.
Oh, God.
Awful. Blue and red. I love those colors. But yeah, this was great, mate. I didn't think we'd speak for this amount of time, but I think you've shown that you can inspire people. You can hold a conversation. You're really open-minded, highly intelligent. You're aware of your flaws. You don't have a giant ego, and it's phenomenal for 15 years old, lad. Insane. So much respect. I've always respected you as a student. I've always liked you. You know that, but now you've got a little bit older, like a lot of you that I used to teach. It's like speaking. Like sometimes I connect more with somebody like you than somebody who's been in the Matrix for 40 years, who's completely plugged into it. At least you're kind of like, you're aware and open-minded. And that's what I love about like your age group, like that I've come across. You're open to things, most of you. You're not a closed box. So, mate, you did phenomenal here. If this was If I was grading you as an old school teacher, 10, mate. 10. I don't think I can fault you. I don't think I can fault you with the way you've approached this. I don't know if you want to call it interview or live or whatever it was, but let me know. Drop me a message later and let me know if you get to 25 subs, because I will be watching that breakdancing. And mate, you got to do it now. No bullshit. You can't be telling people and feeding them false marketing. You better be doing breakdancing, mate, by the end of the day.
I will upload it on my YouTube channel. I promise.
All right. I'm going to ask my friend. Well, I'll get my friend, Chris, who I'm going to go meet now. I'll get him to sub to your channel. So that's another one. I'll message my family, get them to do it. So you'll be on 25 before you know it. What are you now? Before we go.
Right now, I'm on...
Still on 22. Still on 22. Guys, any chance? Did you put the link in the comment, Andre?
Yeah, I put it.
I'm gonna.
Here it is. Okay, wait.
I'm gonna put it again.
Give it a bit more time. Within the next 24 hours. So that would be until, let's say, 2 p.m. tomorrow. Okay.
All right. Okay. So it gives you a bit more time to practice your breakdancing.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Anyway, I'm proud of you, lad. I'm really proud of you. Say hi to your mum and dad for me. They could listen back to this. We've not said anything hugely controversial. They might like this. They'll see how incredible their son is, to be honest. The way that you've just done that. World class, mate. Superb. So take care, Andre. I'm gonna get off now. I'll quickly say bye to the chat after.
Wait, Adam. Thanks for having me on. You're my favorite teacher that I've ever had.
Thank you.
Great guy, great channel. Everyone here, if you're not already, subscribe to The Illusion. Subscribe.
Wow.
You're gonna learn more about the truth about the media we consume.
Man, I can't believe you're 15.
Yeah.
I can't believe that you're 15. The way you're talking, mate, it's like, wow. Wow. So keep going. You're plugging me. Keep plugging me. That was nice. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah. Okay. The Illusion is Adam E. I don't know if you've already said your full name here on this channel.
Probably.
Adam E. is a great man telling us about the truth of our media and our society. So yeah, subscribe to The Illusion.
Cheers, baby.
Yes, Lady Hawk, it is called Weekly Gains.
Weekly Gains, guys. And he's not talking about just building up your biceps. He's talking about gaining in so many ways, like physically, mentally, spiritually, the 4 pillars he was talking about, financially. That's what he's on about, gains. That's what it means, yeah? Am I right? Is that what it is, Andre? Like the gains is like multiple ways. It's not just physical gains.
Yeah.
Bro, you're on 20. Bro,
So videos.
listen,
Yeah.
you're on 25 subs right now. Get breakdancing.
What?
You're on 25. You're on 25 right now. Get breakdancing, son.
No, it can't be. It can't be.
Mate, I've just seen it's 25, 2-5 for Ronaldo and Neymar's birthday, 2-5. 25, mate.
Oh my God.
It's only going to go up. And then the more subs you have, the more motivated you will be to put out content. And then the better you get, because you'll be doing it more often.
No. Why?
Yeah. Get working out. Get spinning that head of yours, mate. Legs up in the air. And don't break your neck or back and get the illusion in trouble. You know what I mean? But there you go. There you go. 25, mate. What a way to end the live. You got your 25. It's going to keep going up, mate. I'll keep promoting you. 15 years old, mate. You could be a real inspiration to loads of people, not just 15-year-olds, any age group, the way you talk, mate. So well done. I'm going to let you get off because my phone needs to actually get charged because it's charging, but it's not really going up because I'm using it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna need Andre for president. Somebody's saying Andre for president.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, Andre. 15-year-olds are not allowed to break dance unless they're in drag these days. Yeah, don't be dressing up in drag as a female, Andre, because that'll get you more views. If you want more views, just put lipstick on, put a wig on, and say, I don't know, say some really nice things about the Kardashians, and then you'll be up to like 5,000 subs in 2 days, mate. You'll be good. Somebody's asking me what I'm going to go eat. I don't know, mate, NR, but I'm absolutely starving. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll deal with it. I'll see what my mate wants to do. Right, Andre, I'm going to hang up here, mate, but brilliant stuff. And maybe in like a month, I'll get you back on and we'll see how many subs you have. And you can tell us about your journal or something that you've had for the last month. That'll be pretty interesting.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure, mate.
In the chat.
No, yeah, you did amazing. You did amazing. Bye. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll speak to you soon.
You too.
Cheers, bro. Bye. Oh, wow. All right. I've got like a minute. I better call my friend. But this is why I was a teacher and still teach, to come across people like Andre. The connection I have with my students, whether they're kids or adults, is amazing. And I just learned so much from a 15-year-old. So it's not age, guys. I've told you there's like 70-year-olds who think they're all smart and they're so successful, but they're not wise. They're not critical thinkers. They are plugged into the matrix. And Andre, like, I'm telling you guys, when he was like 13, he had no confidence. He had zero confidence, like to interact with people, just didn't have any confidence. And now, like when I saw it, like the way he shakes my hand and the way he looks me in the eye, and he's funny now, tells jokes, he's so intelligent. It's amazing. I'm glad he's the first student I've had on here. And if any other of my students have YouTube pages or want to grow them, then boom, get on here. For him, guys, to go from 19 to 25 is significant. I remember the early days. To go from 19 to 25 in the space of a few hours, it feels really good. So please support him. Again, he's not going to get millions of subs. He's not going to sell merch, or maybe who knows if he gets super popular. Just support a 15-year-old who's trying to help people. Motivate him to want to motivate you. You know what I mean? So yeah, 15, guys. 15 years old. Wow. I'm 36. Jeez, I'm old. Oh my goodness. 21 years older for 21, guys. I guess I'm a Jesuit because he's 21 years younger than me. Wow. So cheers. I'm off. Thanks to all of you. Take care. I'll maybe go live tomorrow, and let's see if Djokovic wins Wimbledon. It looks like he's nailing it, doesn't it? But whatever. Joey, much love, mate. Speak to you soon. Thank you. I look good for 36. I feel good as well. Not sure what to do about this yet. Look at my hair, shocking. Little shark's fin. Maybe I need to shave my hair. I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is. I'll deal with it. Much love. Take care. Andre, I was going to blow your kiss. That's a bit weird. So I'll just say thank you. Really cool guy. Amazing guy. We'll speak to you soon. All right. Yeah. Let's all learn how to break dance, baby. Cheers. Take care.